Sport.
Good morning, 10 o'clock. Here are your sports headlines. Ismail Saibari, stunning summer continues. Set for a move to Bayern Munich, the Morocco forward scored the penalty to knock the Netherlands out the World Cup.
Verbruggen sits next to the goal line in disbelief that he's on the losing side. Weghorst in tears, burying his face in the turf. But for the Atlas Lions, it is joy unconfined.
Well, Germany also missed 3 times from the spot. Stunned in a shootout by Paraguay, their fans couldn't believe it.
This Guarani energy that we've seen today was the best experience I've ever had.
Bring us friends. We're going to the final.
Paraguay!
Germany head coach Julian Nagelsmann won't step down unless he's asked. Talksport's Kev Hatchard wonders if Jurgen Klopp can be coaxed away from his desk job at Red Bull.
I believe the one job he would leave that for, the one job he would go back into management for, is the German national team. He's hugely popular in Germany.
Meanwhile, Brazilian football expert Tim Vickery told us the calm Carlo Ancelotti is slowly winning over the Brazilian public.
How many coaches would not have taken Casemiro off at half-time?
Yeah.
Surely, thinking, take him off.
Totally.
And sometimes Ancelotti, the best thing he does is nothing.
Casemiro's mistake allowed Japan to score, but he scored the equaliser before Martinelli's late winner. And defending Wimbledon champion Yannick Sinner was surprised he was allowed to keep playing with a bloody trainer at Wimbledon. Sinner came through a 5-set epic against the 50th seed Kecmanovic. Serena Williams returns to the singles court today at the age of 44. There's more as ever at Talksport.com.
Talksport News.
A repeatedly delayed plan to boost the UK's armed forces will be unveiled later, but with less money than the military chiefs wanted, and government to appoint maternity commissioner after a review finds mums and babies are being let down. There's more with Emma at past.
Talksport weather with QuickFit. With over 400 EV-ready centres across the UK, we're top of the league for electric car owners. Visit quickfit.com and book today.
Temperatures back to normal. Rain across northern and western areas. Showers increasing. Some thunder in the north today.
Get ready to get that winning feeling with TalkSport Win. This summer, TalkSport is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of TalkSport Win. Find out how to enter now at win.
Good morning, this is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 1 here on TalkSport, where this morning, I must say, Andy, if you're watching on Connect TV, Smart TV today or YouTube, for you to turn up in that Osaka outfit, you look fantastic. The full Japanese outfit, Andy. God bless you for wearing it.
Oh, yeah.
You look so good.
Oh, yeah, fabulous. Yeah.
Coming up you wear it better than she does.
I do, I think, yeah. Coming up over the next 3 hours, a friend and former colleague of Germany coach Julian Nagelsmann on whether he's toast after last night's defeat to Paraguay. Steve Bruce talks acrimonious managerial splits and Zen Don Carlo. And Tartan Army foot soldier Ali Ross traipses into the studio, a broken man.
That's right. What else have we got for you? We're very interested in hearing from you today on the subject of the screen going dead for reasons that will become obvious shortly, and how Morocco are leading the charge for Africa.
Oh, yeah. There's all this, plus we'll look ahead to 2 more crackers this evening, and former Villa and Burnley midfielder Ashley Westwood, now with Charlotte FC, tells us how the tournament's going down in the States, record TV figures.
Yeah. There's often this talk, when America do well, or like in '94, will they get a foothold in the States? Well, we'll get Ashley's take on that, as he's seen a bit of an upturn in the 3 years he's been playing over there. That's all to come. 5 minutes past 1. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Paul. Yes, let's see if I've got my present for you. I have to get it out.
You have to get that out for you. So, yeah, we had another intriguing night's football.
We did, and some terrible penalty shootouts. And I thought Germany was so bad in the first half, and I was thinking maybe failing to break down a low block is a German thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. It might be. Yeah, that's it.
Because Thomas Hitzlberger said they were playing too nice. They're not creating enough chaos. I think, well, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
They were. It was a very English sort of performance that by them, wasn't it?
They were so poor in the first half by their standards, weren't they? I just love. Look, I mean, Kai Havertz pops up in great areas and is a good header of the ball. But I would like to know his headers to goals ratio because he does seem to miss a lot as well, doesn't he?
He always has throughout his career, even at Chelsea.
You often used to say that about him there. I mean, you compare him with Casemiro, who's sort of pretty much dead-eye dick in those situations.
He's not an out-and-out striker, Havertz.
No.
He never has been. But, you know,
but he's always in the right place.
Nice header, though. I enjoyed the Japan-Brazil game, obviously from my Japanese connections, my grandchildren and everything.
Yeah.
I was hoping that Japan might do it, although I love
Yeah.
Brazil.
I mean, I think that some of the listeners who don't know that your eldest son is married to a Japanese woman. You have sort of Anglo-Japanese grandchildren who speak Japanese.
4 of them, yeah, they're gorgeous.
And they're right into the Japanese team.
Oh, yeah, the 2 older ones are, yeah, they're definitely.
And they go to a lot of the women's games, especially.
They play and they went to the Japan game at Wembley, yeah.
So were they gutted last night?
They were a little bit disappointed.
What's the kind of cultural psyche of a last minute defeat like that? I mean, Charlie Baker said to me they should go in and smash up the dressing room.
Yeah, for a change.
And I said what they'll probably do is just leave it mildly untidy.
Oh, yeah.
They'll leave one bandage in the middle of the floor as a protest, I would imagine.
And Lee Dixon at one point asked, he went, "Are Japan folding at a crucial time?" I was thinking, what, like origami?
Yeah, that's it. Bring him on. Lads, they should have brought origami on. I definitely should have. A great show, lads.
And while we do that, Tamaguchi stayed with us for a while, but I got fed up with looking after him. Oh, no, that was Tamagotchi.
That's it, yeah. You're doing that. You got any more funny name ones?
Yeah. Well, I'm going back. I'm still Jamington Campaz until
you
I
are
go home.
Jamington Campaz, that's right.
I've got one, yeah.
That's your name.
The lone striker for Paraguay, Avalos. He runs Paraguay's leading comedy agency.
Oh, does he really?
That's one bit.
That's good. That's a bit in. Yeah.
I was thinking that these games are I was writing this down. These games are mostly spoilers versus footballers. This is German. And then blooming hell, Paraguay got rewarded. They scored.
The thing is,
that's why they do it. It's boring.
When there is something admirable about. They defended brilliantly. I mean, it wasn't just hoofing it back up the other end and waiting for the next wave.
I'm sure they defended brilliantly, but
some of the
much
tackling
easier to defend than it is to create. It's much easier to destroy than it is to be artistic and creative. I call it football's flaw, really, and I wrote this. I told you I'm blaming Helenio Herrera.
Well, he's coming on later.
Because up to that point,
yeah,
both teams always approached the game they wanted to win, and we all know that football's so much better when that happens. But it's quite rare, isn't it?
I don't think anybody else on Talksport is going to say I blame Helenio Herrera, a man who was born in 1910 in Buenos Aires. I'm blaming him. He was the one who came up with Catenaccio, wasn't he?
Exactly.
He changed it. Until then, Andy maintains, until then, two teams would just basically go toe-to-toe. I don't know if that stacks up. We need a sort of Jonathan Wilson to be listening and tell us whether that's true.
I enjoyed the Paraguay national anthem.
It was a long intro, wasn't it?
Well, all the South American anthems are classic. They have like a long musical bit. You think, oh, good, that's over. Oh, no, now they're singing.
I was watching it with my wife, and she said, this is just an instrumental. I said, I'm still guessing there'll be some words at the moment because the players look ready to sing. And that's normally, we get straight on with ours, thankfully, and get straight out of it because there's a dirge, isn't it?
Really? Well, it is, really, yeah.
But wasn't it Curacao that had some jazz sax on it? That was quite good. I haven't
heard that one.
It was saxophone led. I mean, we won't hear it again. No. But, with all due respect, quite a lot of the anthems of many of the Central and South American nations, barring the ones we know off by heart because we're in every World Cup, have got shades of Woody Allen's Bananas about them, haven't we? And isn't the Japanese one mournful? It's mournful.
I don't often hear them because I often try and tell
often. I don't often hear. Are you the Queen?
No, I don't often hear them because I sort of try and time it that I'm only coming for the kickoff, but
I'm still waiting for one of the first players to go down. Do you know when they all go along the line? There you have the whole team's going along the lines, whacking each other's hands as a kind of greeting before the match. I'm still waiting for one of the first players to go down having their hand whacked. I'm guessing it might be Paraguay's goalkeeper.
A very interesting statistic on social media today that 80% of players, because we're talking about terrible penalty shootouts, 80% of players subbed on after the 115th minute have missed penalties in the shootout. Actually, no, that was on Sky Sports this morning, to give them the credit. I mean, that's an incredible statistic.
Well, we're talking to Steve Bruce about that, bringing players on for shootouts.
People do it, and you think, that'll be successful. But it's incredibly 8 out of 10 is an incredibly unsuccessful ratio.
Yeah.
It does show you, because 5 minutes isn't time to get into the rhythm of the game.
No, exactly.
It's not. Yeah.
I mean, but having said that, they've thrown on goalkeepers for penalty shootouts, and it's worked. And they're not into the rhythm of the game. They're coming in cold, aren't they?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know what the percentage is on that. Maybe we should keep watching Sky Sports to find out.
It doesn't happen that often.
No. Well, Steve Bruce is going to join us for a chat. We've got some ground to cover with him, including acrimonious managerial splits, because there were some few cutting lines in both the statements from Chelsea and Enzo. They can't even say his name. Our former head coach. I can't even say his name. It's like a bad breakup, wasn't it?
It was. Look,
don't even say his name to me.
All I'll say is, it could have been handled a lot better by both parties.
Right.
In my view.
You have something you can't talk about, but there's a bit more to it.
I think there's a bit more to it, and I think I might have handled it a little bit different. But look, in the end, it's worked out okay. Chelsea have got 20 million quid, which is good.
Yeah, 3 of it from him.
Maresca's quite happy.
I hope he gave it to him in pennies.
And to be honest,
thing they do when you want to make a statement, you give it to him in pennies. Imagine that. A lorry turns up one day outside the Stamford Bridge, and it's all in pennies.
We'll see how it goes. But, I think Alonso is potentially a better manager than Maresca, but we'll see.
And Maresca said it's great to be coming to such a well-run club. You think, meow.
Yeah. Well, he's not wrong, is he?
That's true.
You have to look at the two clubs, which is better run. You can say it was Manchester City, of course.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
anyway,
Chelsea
is it time for Andy Jacobs' World of Tat, or have you forgotten it today?
No,
yeah.
I haven't forgotten it.
Okay, we got the music. Here it is. Every day Andy gives me a gift. Jeff Bezos.
Connection to it.
There
you go.
That's a nice cap, Andy.
Well, wait, I'll tell you about that when you've done yours.
For 75 quid, Andy got 10 items from Jeff Bezos online, and he gives me one of them every day and open them live on air. So I've had some real tat.
Three more to go.
I had socks yesterday that are a real copyright thing. The Premier League should get hold of a pair of these socks and sue whoever makes them. So here we go. This looks like a nice item. Here we go. Oh, look at that. It's a World Cup cap. This is quite a quality item. I say that. I haven't opened it yet.
Well, I don't know.
The bag feels better quality than the cap. Let's go. Here we go.
Cheap for a cap, actually.
Oh, look at that. It's got some sort of plastic in it. You're going to wear that instead.
Don't wear that instead.
No, it's a bit like that. That's almost like the old Ronaldo haircut. It's quite good.
That suits you, isn't it?
Yeah. Good. So here it is. 2026 welcome, it says.
Not really that football-y, is it, really?
No, it's not very.
You could have worn that on New Year's Eve, really.
Just loosen it off. Is that as loose as it gets? It's for someone with a much smaller head than me. Oh, no, I don't know.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, look at that. It really suits.
It's a bit special, actually, don't I? Really working.
So I brought mine because I broke my rule. A new rule that I don't buy any clothes online now because it's always a massive flop.
Okay.
But I saw this cap online. I thought, that looks good. It really looks good. Of course, the model was like 10 times better looking than me.
Yeah.
So I bought it and I tried it on. It is a touch on the flat side, don't you think? What an Andy cap.
It looks like you've retired to Miami.
I know. Or Hastings or something.
It does. It's got
retirement, seaside retirement vibe.
You've got the look of one of those old people. That's a bit more.
Better? Is that better?
I don't know if you're too old. Is Andy Jacobs too old to wear a cap like that backwards?
Still looks wrong.
Yeah.
So it was another online mistake.
Yeah.
What can you do?
So Steve Bruce is going to join us.
I bought 2 of them.
Steve Bruce is going to join us for a chat.
Just buy 1, I bought 2.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Lutz Pfannenstiel will be joining us. He is a former colleague at Hoffenheim of Julian Nagelsmann. He spoke a lot in the past about just what a great coach he was. And we used to evangelise about him when in his very early days as a young coach, when he was like 27 and running Hoffenheim and pushing at the top of the Bundesliga. And we'll be chatting to Lutz about that because obviously he played in German football, was at Bayern as a young man, so we can talk about what went on last night and just how much pressure that Nagelsmann is under because, as Kevin Hatchard was saying, that potentially Jurgen Klopp covets the job and has been watching it all unfold and has been chatting to Nagelsmann post-match over there.
Tournament after tournament, this can't keep happening for Germany.
Ali Ross joins us back from being with the Tartan Army over in the States. He'll join us. Kevin Hatchard, as we said, we'll look ahead to some of the big games tonight. Ashley Westwood is a player in the States these days, formerly of Villa and Burnley, playing for Charlotte FC for the last 3 years. So he's kind of well placed to kind of tell us what the vibe is amongst American football fans over there and how they're feeling about the tournament, whether he's seen a bit of an uplift in interest in the time he's been there. Alex Crook on some of the big transfer stories of the day. Alex Scott potentially for Arsenal if they can get a deal done, but they're a ways off, and also the Maresca fallout with Chelsea and some of the other stories of the day as well. So lots to get through between now and 4 o'clock. 0371, no, not 4 o'clock, 1 o'clock. 03717.
Doing a very long show today.
03717 223344. It's 03717 223344. Talksport.com. Text to 81089. Tweet to TSH and J if you want to get in touch with us. And we look forward to hearing from you. We'll have a creature of the night, but Steve Bruce will be kicking us off to cover all manner of things in a few moments' time. We're here with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
Jimmy, do you think behind Kane, Bellingham is our most important player?
I think they are on a par together. I think he is something else. You know, he's got a habit of turning up in really important moments. If you look at the goals that he scores, and when he scores them, you know, 1-0s, and Benty will agree with me. It's so important to score the 1-0s and 1-1s, the 2-1s. You know, those important goals. Not a lot of players can do that. And he has got that thing around him. I don't know how he does it, but he just has it, that he turns up at really important moments, like an overhead kick, for instance, like the goal other day out of nothing. You know, it's just the feeling for him putting his left foot around it and score. You know, that's why I want him closer all the time to the box, to the goal.
He's world class, right?
For me, he's world class.
How many world class players does England have?
I think England has got a few. I think Argentina has got Messi, yeah, but then really, what more? But they have got the team. If you look at France,
Get ready to get that winning feeling with TalkSport Win. This summer, TalkSport is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of TalkSport Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
all over. It's going to be penalties between Germany and Paraguay. Germany have never lost a World Cup penalty shootout. Is that about to change? Can Canale score? Here he comes. Oh! He does! Paraguay are through to the last 16.
Signals the end of extra time. And we do have our second penalty shootout of the night. Ivory up against Verbruggen, right-footed, finds the bottom corner. The Netherlands' horrible run of penalty shootouts continue at World Cups.
We're going to be talking Morocco and the African nations getting through these latter stages. It's been a record amount of teams going through to the knockouts, and Alistair was going to join us, but no one's going to want to play Morocco, certainly. It's so good at shootouts, Germany, that you had to go back to 1982 to find the only man who'd missed one in a shootout.
Really?
Uli Stielike, World Cup semi-final against France. The only German who'd ever missed a penalty in a shootout before three of them. There was something about John. Well, let's bring Steve Bruce in, of course. Good morning, Steve. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine, lads. How are you?
Good, thanks, Steve. There was something about, honestly, if I was going to have a bet in running, there was something about Jonathan Tarr, the way he walked up. He was leaning back, and I thought, that's going over the bar. There was just something about the body language. It said.
But we always like doing that at penalty shoot.
Do you know, it's the walk.
Yes.
It's the walk from the halfway line. You know, it seems to go on forever, and all things whirl through your mind. Am I going bottom left, bottom right? You know, and usually the really good penalty takers know where they're going to put it and don't change. But I have to tell you that walk, and you're right. But what you just said there's only one German missed a penalty, is quite staggering.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, for three of them to miss is quite remarkable, really, isn't it? I mean, for so long, the Germans have been so good at it. But there we have it. I mean, they've gone out, which nobody would have predicted. That I wouldn't have thought.
As a defender, I mean, I was saying it was very low block and very defensive, but they defended brilliantly. And as a defender, I don't know, did you sit there cheering, defending? Because I thought some of the tackling by Paraguay, the timing of their tackles, the way they defended was brilliant.
Absolutely. Do you know something? You know, you have to applaud these teams, and you know, because if they just open up and say, come on, then we're going to take you on the game of football, you know, where everybody likes to see it because it's end to end, you know, they're going to get beat ultimately. So you have to find a way and be a bit pragmatic. And the art of defending over the last maybe decade is sort of gone away. Everybody's how we create, how do we play out from the back, blah, blah, blah. And people lose foresight of the actual art of defending. And I have to say, they were absolutely terrific in what they did.
You wouldn't want to watch every game like that, though, would you, Steve? You wouldn't want to watch otherwise, one team should wear bibs and the other team should wear shirts.
I made the point. If all 48 teams played like that, nobody'd turn up. There wouldn't be one person turned up.
Well, I understand it. But if you're going in with a smaller nation against a huge big one like Paraguay, come on, let's give them a pat on the back. Yes, it wasn't a great spectacle. In fact, we haven't seen a lot of really, really classic games just yet. I suppose we will do now when the knockout stages are coming along, you know. So, I mean, but when you watch teams defend, and we've seen it where the low block, and also, I also think it's got something to do with the heat and where they're playing and all the rest of it, that, you know, it's not as you know, as free-flowing as we would all like it to be.
Yeah, I've quite enjoyed the football, but there we go. I do think Germany were done out by VAR, though. They should have gone through. How they disallowed that goal.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen it.
It's just ludicrous.
I don't know if you've seen it yet, Steve. Jonathan Tarr scores with a header, and the goalkeeper sort of claims he was interfered with. But in the Premier League, it's the sort of goal that would definitely be given because he's still got plenty of time to regroup. I mean, we've seen plenty of...
Hardly touched.
I mean, there was an infamous Donnarumma one where, he felt he was hard done. But in the Premier League, that's just par for the course. But they went back and found something wrong with it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a strange one, wasn't it? Yeah, I seen it this morning, and it was, they've got away with one there, really. But arguably, they would say it's been the only really contentious decision. Maybe Scotland are going to maybe disagree with that. They maybe had a cause for a penalty, but we haven't really seen them get much wrong just yet, which has been quite refreshing. I have to say they've got away with one there, though. That's for sure. It looked innocuous to me.
What was your penalty record like, Steve? Did you take many in shootouts?
By the way, can you tell you something? I was a hairy arse centre half who ended up taking penalties for Manchester United.
Yeah, I remember.
You know, and I often wonder how the hell am I taking them? You know, but I did okay until I lost. I missed one against Sheffield United in the quarter-final of a cup, and I missed one in a penalty shootout in Russia. And then a certain Frenchman came along by the name of Cantona who said, "Steve, it's my turn." And I says, "Eric, you're welcome to them," because it is it's a no-win situation. You expected to win score a penalty. You know, Eric took them off me, and I don't know if you go back to the 1984 Cup final against Chelsea. And I had this premonition that we were going to get a penalty. I don't know why. Anyway, Eric, we got two of them. And Eric took the two of them as he was playing in the park. It was quite remarkable how he strolled up to it and sent the goalkeeper the wrong way twice, I think it was. It was quite credible.
It was David Ellery, wasn't it?
David Ellery.
I did okay. I did okay with them, but it's not for the faint-hearted, that's for sure.
You didn't do a stuttering run-up. I love to see Fergie's face if you did that.
I wouldn't know how to do a stutter. Maybe just talking to you, I've got a stutter.
we were talking yesterday, Steve, with a penalty expert, Ben Littleton, who's written a book on it, and saying it is more difficult to score from a penalty than it's ever been because of the amount of information that the players have, the goalkeepers have, and I suppose the pressure shouldn't be more than it ever used to be, but it feels like it is, and it is a harder thing to score a pen.
Yeah. I have to say, all of us, when you do all this stuttering and shuffling and you miss, it's okay if it comes off. But when you miss, you always seem like you think, well, I do anyways, to say, what on earth's all that about? Why don't you just take a run up, pick with your spot? And, when you look at all the great penalty takers over the years, the guy from West Ham all them years ago.
Ray Stewart.
Ray Stewart. Yeah. How many, I can't remember him doing any stutters and runs, but he just smashed it in the back of the net frequently.
England have been practising. Noni Madueke said we're working really hard on penalties, and after last night and seeing two sort of big nations go out, I think we'd all applaud that. Well, I don't know how much help it is in the moment, but at least they're trying.
Look, I think a penalty is all about your routine, and we've seen all the shuffles and stutters and all the rest of it. But I always, when I was, back managing, and I practiced at Birmingham, I always thought we was going to go to penalties, and we practiced the actual walk from the halfway line, because it's that walk where everybody's together and it's your turn. You have to, the dreaded walk where all sorts goes through your mind. So my advice was, know what you're going to do, and if you're going to practice penalties, it's like everything. It's like a golfer practicing a drive. If you're going to practice, and when I took them back in the day, I used to practice them religiously, because that's that was the routine of it is key to it, in my opinion. Of course, you've got to go with the mind games and deal with that, in a big World Cup game and all the rest of it. So it's a thankless task, but I think you should be practicing them, of course.
Steve Bruce is with us. We're going to talk about acrimonious managerial splits, as well as Zen Don Carlo. How does he do it? The man doesn't have a pulse.
Sorting out a low block.
Yes, just some of the things we'll be discussing with Steve in a few moments' time. And then Lutz Pfannenstiel, the world's most travelled goalkeeper, former Hoffenheim head of recruitment, friend of Julian Nagelsmann, reflects on last night's defeat. That's all to come. We're here with our very good friends at Selco Builders Warehouses, where the trade go.
Has been terrified all week about the Ghanaian witch doctor he slagged off.
No, he did not.
Supposedly putting a curse on Harry Kane and England's number 9, subsequently missing a sitter. Now, thankfully, the witch doctor, of course, lifted the curse.
It's funny.
Now, there was a report in The Sun that you, Emmanuel, were cursed by a witch doctor.
It's Senegal.
Ignored it
2002.
and got injured.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, before the World Cup in 2002. No, after the World Cup, actually, because we went out very quickly, during the World Cup in Asia. And when I came back, I was in holidays in south of France, and I had a friend, he was selling watches, on the beach, and he was expecting me. He was waiting for me for days. And then when he saw me, he came to me straight away and he said, I'm so happy to see you because I have something important to tell you. And I said, well, what is it? And he said, you have to be very careful because you have, how can I say that?
Curse?
A curse, yeah, on you. And you have to follow exactly what I'm going to tell you. And I said, what is it? He said, you have to go in Africa and you have to buy a cow and you have to kill it. And you have to follow...
To Silvio Gazzaniga immediately gets to work. But instead of sending FIFA a picture, he goes further and makes a prototype they can hold. It works. FIFA choose his design over 52 others, and perhaps the most beautiful piece of silverware or goldenware enters the beautiful game. Let's let the artist himself describe it. Gazzaniga said the idea was to create something symbolising exertion, dynamism and the jubilation of an athlete in the moment of victory, with all the joy that contains. The malachite rings in the base fitted the sculpture well because precious stone. The first captain to lift the trophy was Franz Beckenbauer in 1974, and of course, it's only the greatest who get their hands on it. Zoff, Matthias paved the way for the modern-day heroes who dreamt of lifting Gazzaniga's masterpiece. But there was something about this man holding it that seemed to deliver everything the sculptor had imagined. Were I to ever redo it, the artist once said, I wouldn't change a thing.
Deal on Talksport with Selco Builders Warehouse. For the latest special offers, pick up this month's Real Deals in branch or view online at selcobw.com.
Yes, time to pick the real deal with Selco Builders Warehouse. And, despite the evidence of the country in the first half of the Brazil game against Japan last night, we're giving it to this guy.
Vinicius pulls it back, left-footed, swung in deep, headed towards goal, and in there is the equalising goal, which has been coming. Casemiro's had such an inauspicious afternoon, but he's conjured up a big moment for his country there. They are back in this.
You wouldn't have found a pundit, really, or there was many sort of ex-players and experts there saying, well, if he's going to make a change, it'll be Casemiro at half-time. There'll be an absolutely
Oh, yeah, they were talking about it in the commentary.
But Don Carlo, of course, has no pulse, and he just sticks to his guns. Steve Bruce is with us. Yeah, I mean...
The reaction when they scored, there was nil reaction.
I know.
Steve,
I mean,
about that.
he does seem incredibly relaxed, considering the high stakes, doesn't he, Carlo Ancelotti, Steve?
Oh, that's what's made him the great that he is. he somehow seems to be calm when all the rest of us are jumping around like idiots at times. He just sort of raises his eyebrow, doesn't he, and sort of looks on and just gives that look. He certainly has been an unbelievable. He was a fantastic player, as well. So to go on and done what he's done, and I have to say this now. Maybe I shouldn't with England looming, maybe, but it has to be the worst Brazil team I think I've seen in over the decades that I've been involved with football. Especially in the midfield area. But there we go. They're through. They've got through. They find a way, and of course they've got him at the helm, which you could never write him off.
I think because so many Brazilian players, we've talked about this, they play in the European leagues. It's not like 70 or 82.
No.
You're not used to seeing these players, and other players weren't used to, and they just looked different and played in a different way. Yeah. Now they all, even the African, everyone plays in the European style.
They were good for the win in the second half. They came on strong.
They got great players, and Vinicius.
That's the thing, isn't it, Steve? As a unit, as a team, they're maybe not the best, but they've still got 2 or 3 standout players who can turn a game in a minute. And the Martinelli finish was excellent.
It was terrific finish.
Yeah.
A terrific finish and a terrific pass from Guimaraes, I have to say. I mean, it was. I thought he was going to shoot with his left foot, and he found the pass. And Martinelli stuck it away with a plum. Yeah, I mean, yes, they have. In Vinicius Junior, he's got tremendous skills, and he's a threat, isn't he? So.
Steve there.
We lost Steve.
I think we may have just lost him. We're going to try and get him back. We've had this has come in from Grimsby. You've not put your name on this, but thank you very much for sending it in. Something I want to bring to your attention. Last night's penalty kick, 7 penalties were stutter run-ups. Only 2 of them scored. For those 2 penalties, the keeper went the right way. Harry Kane missed his first penalty with a stutter run-up. I've got to take it again, of course. You can go back to the last tournament where we lost on penalties, and lo and behold, look at the runners for the penalties that we missed. Can you get a message through to the England players? Well, I'm sure they have the info. I'm sure they do. Well, see if they can sling that into the next press conference. Just run up and hit the ball, he says. So,
he's right.
Or she says. Thank you very much for sending that in. Actually, if you remember West Ham's disallowed goal against Arsenal, things do happen like that in the Premier League. That was probably a bit more, this is from Matt in Islington, probably a bit more clear-cut than what we saw in the game last night.
They can't compare. They're not the same thing. I mean, one was a clear, foul and stopped the keeper. And the other one, he just touched him with his hand.
Yeah.
It was pathetic.
Yeah. I mean, it was high risk because he went down and he only just kind of got set again because he went over. They should never have gone back and looked at it, should they, really? I mean, because the threshold has been pretty high all the way. And now suddenly, a couple of times it hasn't been. We saw the one in the game the other day. Was it Ghana? Who was the game when it was the DR Congo game. He lightly brushed the face of a player who went down. They went all the way back and ruled out the goal when he ran in.
Ludicrous.
We got Steve back.
Sorry, chaps.
Not Neil back.
No, not Neil back. We got Steve back. That's all right. What happened there, Steve? You fall off your chair. What happened?
No, I fell off. I don't know what happened. I'm out in Spain at the moment.
Oh, blimey!
And technology and myself is not very good.
I wonder why you weren't in the garden in Portugal. I thought the sun had gone in and you'd suddenly gone indoors.
Yeah, we've drifted into Spain for a couple of days. I'm at a wedding tomorrow, so
lovely.
Yeah. Next step.
We did want to ask you a little bit away from the World Cup about Maresca and the idea of acrimonious departures from clubs.
Yeah. Because you want to leave a club, I guess, as a manager on good terms, but it doesn't always work out like that. And both the statement from Chelsea and Maresca has got a bit of edge to it. I mean, you've probably been over the years,
they weren't
haven't you? I would imagine.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had a 25 year ago. It was. I had a well publicised terrible time with Simon.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. when he was at Crystal Palace, and I had it in my head that I wanted to join Birmingham, and that wasn't very easy. But thankfully, we kissed and made up over the years. Yeah. But it was pretty brutal on both sides yesterday, wasn't it? So. Probably that's why it's taken so long for it to get done.
Yeah.
I mean, it was sort of nasty stuff, wasn't it?
You didn't have to give Simon £3 million of your own money, Steve, did you?
No, but he took me to the High Court, and that was enough, by the way.
Yeah.
Wow. I was on the steps of the High Court thinking this has cost me a lot of money, So And then, of course, soon as Simon won, they let me go.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dear.
So, a bit of managerial news as well. Somebody called Alex Bruce is the new Rotherham manager. Let's hear him chatting to the club's media channels. Here we go.
It's quite simple, really. I know you've had a tough time. Looking from the outside, it's been a tough couple of years for everybody involved with Rotherham. My job now is to try and grab the bull by the horns and give this place a team that they can be proud of. That's one that works hard, full of effort, full of endeavour. Represent, as I keep saying, South Yorkshire in the right way, which I think is all those things that I've just spoke about. And that's when you get them things right and in place, then we start adding the other little bits and pieces with the tactics and the way we want to play. But first and foremost, I expect blood and thunder, and that's the minimum requirement.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So that's your lad, of course.
Yeah, it must make you very proud, I think.
By the way, what a good-looking kid he is as well. He must take after his mother. When I see my ugly moose on the television now, thinking, good job he's got a good-looking mother, I have to tell you.
Do you go through the ring?
He spoke well, eh?
He did, yeah. Did you go through the ringer a bit, watching him in the dugout? You must be kind of reliving it all again.
Yeah. I mean, you know, they did really well. I thought they were a bit unfortunate, I have to say, to lose their job. They've just lost the playoff final. And of course, they were disappointing in the final, but I thought they were a bit unfairly treated, if I'm going to be brutally honest. But there you go, that's football. And, you know, he's had this opportunity, and Steve McLaren's given him an opportunity. So he's got Steve above him, and he's took Steve Agnew in with him underneath him. So he's given himself a right chance. He's itched at the chance of managing. And he's done all the badges and worked hard over the last 6, 7, 8 years to get all the qualifications you need. And of course, then you need somebody to give you the opportunity. And I think it's a great opportunity for him. You know, they've had a dismal couple of years, Rotherham, but he'll try his best, and I'm sure he'll give it the enthusiasm and the hard work that it requires.
Yeah. Does he lean on you for a bit of advice along the way, Steve?
Yeah, a little bit. But look, in management, when you first take the seat, you know, you can do all the coaching badges, have as much information as you like. You know, it is a difficult job. So yes, I'll give him a little bit of advice, but he's got to go by his own guts. He's got a hell of a job to do. You know, I'm not many players, and as I said, a couple of years, Rotherham have been struggling, unfortunately. So he's got to try and turn it around and create an environment where people want to come to work again and get the supporters believing again in the team.
Now, you've just said you're at a wedding tomorrow, and England are playing, 6 o'clock your time. So how's that going to work? Is it a big football related wedding?
No, thankfully we are meeting up tomorrow. The actual wedding's the day after.
Okay, good.
So yeah, we'll be fine. Is it 6 o'clock? Is it?
We'll be. It's 5 o'clock here, so it'll be 6 o'clock for you, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. I'll find a bar in Magaluf or something like that. But
that'll be nice and quiet, won't it?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Join the mad English army. Yeah.
I mean, one of the things England are going to have to face, and we've seen it yesterday, we've seen it with
You're going to say low block?
The low block.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, Thomas Hitzelberg was on the BBC last night, and he was talking about the way Germany play, and they don't create enough chaos in the box. And it's something that is aimed at Tuchel, exactly that. And the like-for-like subs that he makes, I think when you're facing a low block, is not helpful. Do you think there's a case, Steve, for him to change tactics, to try something different?
I don't think he will. He seems to stay with the same sort of thing, doesn't he? You know, he doesn't. You know, I can't really see it. I understand that teams are going to play in a low block, and certainly Congo will tomorrow. So you've got to find a way. We've seen the great Man City team over the years. People have played to get low block against them for, you know, you go to Manchester City and you play a low block. They find a way, don't they? You know, they have that little bit of magic. Somebody can go past somebody. And of course, what they're very, very good at is to be patient. And I think that's key to it. We've certainly got players at the top end of the pitch who, given any sort of opportunity, as we've seen against the Croatia game, that they can hurt people. So I wouldn't think you'll change tactics. Whether we'll see a different change in personnel, that might be a bit different, but I wouldn't think you'll change tactics.
Well, enjoy the game and enjoy the wedding, Steve. Good to talk to you as always. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks very much, lads. Thank you.
Steve Bruce there. Thanks to him. Graham Lassau's going to join myself and Charlie for a chat in the build-up to England versus DR Congo tomorrow night. But we, of course, picked Casemiro a little bit earlier on as we chatted to Steve about Brazil. And that was our pick for the Real Deal with Selco Builders Warehouse. For the latest special offers, pick up this month's Real Deals in branch or view online at selcobw.com.
The Real Deal on Talk Sport with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's Real Deals at selcobw.com.
Maresca himself has issued a statement, obviously off the back of what Chelsea are saying. What's your take on this, Simon? At the end of December 2025, I made the difficult decision to leave Chelsea. The decision was only mine. My resignation from Chelsea opened a path for me to join Manchester City, which is a club I knew very well. I'm ecstatic I've joined City. I recognise that my departure from Chelsea in the middle of the season caused disruption for the club, and I apologise for that. It was neither my intention nor my wish. I was treated well by everyone at Chelsea, and together we achieved great success and memories that I will always treasure. I'm grateful to the club, the owners and the fans for giving me the opportunity. The standout line in there, Simon, I recognise my departure from Chelsea in the middle of the season caused disruption for the club. I apologise for that.
Well, he's been advised, I would suspect, that when someone goes low, you go high. Right? So he's taken the statesman point of view and saying to Chelsea, aren't you supposed to be the leaders and the dignified ones? Here I am, having orchestrated the situation, having created disruption, having been disloyal and lacking integrity, and having potentially been approached or made himself available to another club whilst under contract, and a raft of other things that I know that were tantrums going on inside dressing rooms.
Is he right?
But I'm going to play the high ground.
Is he right to do that?
No, I think he's a saucy sod, and I think Chelsea's attitude is actually more on the money. But I would, because I'm coming from the ownership point of view. I know some of the things that went on.
Get ready to get that winning feeling with TalkSport Win. This summer, TalkSport is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of TalkSport Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Good morning, Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on Talk Sport. Germany, of course, are out of the World Cup after a penalty shootout with Paraguay. Joining us now to chat about that. Live from training camp with Aberdeen. He is former head of recruitment with Hoffenheim and knows Julian Nagelsmann, the Germany coach, very, very well. Is the world's most travelled goalkeeper, Lutz Pfannenstiel. Hi, Lutz.
Hi, guys. Beautiful studio, I have to say.
Yeah, we have timed our chat to you. I feel bad now. We spoke to you before the tournament, and then we call you up when they've been knocked out. Let's come on to the performance maybe first. It was very disappointing first half. I mean, what did you make overall of the performance of the team?
I mean, yesterday, somehow it just reflected what we saw during the tournament. You know, the Curaçao game, winning 7-1, people got a bit carried away because we scored 7 goals. But then the game against the Ivory Coast, where the first half was not good and we just really grabbed it in the last moment, then looking very vulnerable against Ecuador with not that many changes, and it just carried over into this game. Could they have won the game yesterday because they had more chances? Yes. Could they have got through the penalties with a little bit more luck? It's always a 50-50. Yes. But in the end of the day, I don't think Germany has that world-class team they used to have. They don't have the world-class individuals. And if Germany would have won yesterday against Paraguay, I think against France, it would have been probably over very soon in case France will make it to the next round. But overall, lots of people are shocked. Lots of people are very surprised. But I'm not completely shocked. I thought we will squeeze somehow past Paraguay, but then it would have been fly back home and have a summer.
What do you make of the disallowed goal?
Well, Arsenal would have not been English champions, and in Scotland, I think you would have 25 free kicks every single time when the goalkeeper is touched. Look, it's rules. The referee looked at it and he decided with his friends in the VAR chamber that it's a foul. So again, it's not the referee's decision, I think, which cost them the game. I think it was the way they played the whole tournament. I think it was a goal, but overall, I don't think it doesn't really matter.
Now, you know Julian Nagelsmann well from your time at Hoffenheim. And championed him on this show often as a young coach, and he's had a fantastic career, but he's going to be under a fair bit of pressure now. Lutz, do you think he can survive this, or will he want to stay on, you think?
Yeah, that's the question. I mean, there is lots of names flying around, before the tournament already. I mean, knowing Julian Nagelsmann, he's still a young coach by age, even though he's really experienced. Does he national coach for him, or is it maybe better to be at a top club level, to be every day on the field, to have the day-to-day football business? That's the answer only he really will know. But I mean, Jurgen Klopp is also mentioned a lot of times that he will be a guy also for the job. Look, it doesn't matter who is coaching Germany at the moment. I don't think that's the question, because can they really make a team of players that much better what everybody expects? And I have one word which sums up what German football stands at the moment for, and I think it's average.
Wow. Yeah.
Average is not good enough if you want to win a tournament, or if you want to go to the last four. Do they have enough quality to make it quite far? Yes, they do, but I think that individual top players like Yamal or Haaland or you name them, we don't have it at the moment. And Julian Nagelsmann or Jürgen Klopp or Santa Claus, they will not change in a few days, because they are also, they know magicians.
They brought back Manuel Neuer, and he did fair play make a decent penalty save. I mean, do you think there'll be recriminations around that after the tournament?
Neuer played a decent tournament. Bringing Neuer back, I think, it was a bit of a risky decision because obviously he didn't play for Germany for 2 years and he had injuries. But we all know how good Manuel Neuer can be, even with 40 years old. Oliver Baumann, Hoffenheim goalkeeper, my former goalkeeper, did a great job during qualification. But I don't think it was a goalkeeper issue that Germany didn't make it. So did it work out? Did it work out? Well, I think everybody wanted it to work out a bit better. But can you put anything onto Neuer here that he didn't perform? No, you cannot at all. I think he played a very normal, again, average tournament for a goalkeeper.
And it's true. I mean, the forward players like Wirtz, like Sane, they're better than they showed in this tournament.
Yeah, and there was all the stuff about Joshua Kimmich, wasn't there? And playing
wrong position,
playing him in rather than playing him in midfield. He's taken a little bit of heat for that, hasn't he? And it's interesting what you said about Jurgen Klopp, because we know he's there commentating and he's been talking to Nagelsmann as part of the team there. But would he want this job if the players aren't good enough? If he's going to come back into football after what happened at Liverpool and Dortmund. You know, does he want to go into a sort of failing Germany team where the quality isn't there to make them any better?
I mean, I think only Jurgen Klopp can answer that question. Being German national team coach, it's still, I believe, for every coach in the world, but especially German coaches, it must be an honor. It must be still the biggest job out there on the market. So I'm pretty sure that's something every German coach would always consider, to represent your home country. Yeah, but as you said, same thing. I mean, Jurgen Klopp is a born winner. He wants to win everything. And again, it will not change overnight, or it will not change within the next 12 months. That's a fact as well. So I think he will also have exactly the same thoughts what the two of you just had.
Yeah.
You're out in Holland, Lutz, so they also had a setback overnight and went out. Have you seen any reaction from the locals there?
I mean, I set my alarm to actually watch it and fell asleep, but then I went for the penalty shootout, which was great. Yeah, I think they are just as annoyed and angry as the Germans, but Germany and Holland always have a fair bit of being rivaled. I am trying to be very, very neutral here. And let me tell you, I would have rather lost against Morocco in the penalty shootout than against Paraguay.
Yeah.
Morocco is a top 10 team. They are very dangerous. They can beat anyone. And so it's, of course, it's a knock for the Netherlands, because I think they played a good group stage, and I think many people had them up on the list of teams who can go very far. But it is not the biggest upset or the biggest sensation in the world that Morocco can beat the Netherlands, especially penalty shootout. I think going across the borderline to Germany, I think the seats are a little bit hotter than right now in Holland.
As the world's most travelled goalkeeper, and he was saying earlier on, you get a sense that it's so much harder to score penalties these days with the amount of information that goalkeepers are presented with, the amount of work they do around penalties and penalty takers. Are you having that as a goalkeeper, or is it still as difficult as ever?
I think at the end of the day, it's still as difficult as ever. Of course, you can prepare yourself better. You have all the data, all the information, all the stats. But if you come up in a stress situation, against a world-class player, I think they still manage somehow to do their job. They, go back again one more time to the shootout yesterday. I mean, the way the body language of some of the players went up, it didn't look full of conviction. And to be fair, the Paraguay goalkeeper played an absolute blinder. So it all came together. But are the goalkeepers better now than before? They're definitely getting bigger and bigger. I mean, look at that one yesterday. It was like an octopus, it was all over the place and had some unbelievable saves. But no, I mean, I would say that would be another excuse to say, the goalkeepers are better prepared for a penalty shootout. I mean, the Paraguay players also, we also knew just the same information, but they scored one more. So. No excuse, guys.
Well, we appreciate you joining us on a difficult day. I hope training camp goes well over there in Holland, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks very much.
Thanks so much, guys. Cheers.
Take care. There's Lutz Pfannenstiel there, the world's most travelled keeper. His book is, I think it's still available, and it's got some great war stories in it of his journey around. He's played in every FIFA nation. He's played in all corners of the world, and it's a great read. And he's currently the sporting director at Aberdeen. Talking of Aberdeen, that is the club that Ali Ross supports. He is now back from the World Cup, and he will be coming in. Crestfallen, I don't know, or head up, I've got no idea. We'll find out in a few moments' time. Tartan Army's Ali Ross will be here. We'll be looking at the quality and depth of the qualifiers among the African nations as well. Alistair Howell's going to join us from over in the States. We saw last night with Morocco. As Lutz said, they're a top 10 team. They can beat anyone. So, as we saw in the last World Cup. And Kevin Hatchard will look ahead to 2 big games tonight and reflect briefly on his role as our commentator here on Talksport on that Germany-Paraguay game. That's all to come in the second hour.
Tuchel wants a different profile. What
do you think?
Something.
What do you think?
It doesn't matter what I think.
No, it does, Jim.
No, it doesn't matter what I think.
I'd like to know what you think. Do you think that Quansah is a better option than Trent?
He's a better option for Tuchel.
But do you think
because how Tuchel wants to play? He plays.
I know, but I want to know what your opinion is.
No, but
what's your opinion?
I have a different tactic. I would have wanted to play maybe a little bit different.
What would you?
But that's why I'm sitting here with you, and Tuchel is there in America.
I know, but because we can't get to him, we can't get to you. What would you do? Do you think it's the right thing to do or not?
For Tuchel, it's the right thing to do.
For you?
For me, I would have maybe gone with somebody else, but that is me.
Who'd you go?
You know, I would have want to know. I would have want to talk to Tuchel and understand where he's coming from, and then I would say, okay, yeah, I understand, and yeah, Quansah is the better.
On paper, you think it's wrong,
yeah,
as I do.
No, but football isn't played on paper.
No, I know, but
and that's where we go wrong.
I know, but
that's where because there are so many more things.
No, but here's the
comes
thing,
with it.
No,
there are so many more things coming with it.
We get you in the studio like we do all ex-pros to get their opinion, right?
I'm giving you my opinion.
I want to learn from you.
Yeah.
So do you think that was right or wrong to put Quansah over Trent?
I think that is the wrong question.
Well, okay, what should I ask you to get your opinion?
Because we need to know the tactical side of Tuchel first.
Ali Ross is with us. Interesting take on Steve Clarke deciding to call it a day, and he'll be telling us more about that shortly. Also here from Mark McGee, former Scotland assistant manager. But we'll talk Africa in the next hour, and a little bit later on in the show we'll look at some of the big transfer stories of the day too. But first, Will Hobbs has the sports headlines.
Talk Sport.
Thank you, Paul. World Cup heartbreak for a much-fancied Netherlands squad. Morocco equalised late before winning 3-2 in a crazy shootout.
Bonu made that save, and those individual players who stepped up to take penalties have now seen Morocco go through to the round of 16. Absolutely incredible game.
Morocco face Canada next. Meanwhile, Germany head coach Julian Nagelsmann will not step down unless he's asked to, but Emmanuel Petit says he simply has to make way.
There's so many troubles, with so many players, and tactically as well, he was so wrong. And the way he managed the team, from the start of the competition, I was not even close to be convinced.
So Paraguay face Sweden or France in the last 16 after the Germans lost a World Cup shootout for the first time ever. Talksport's Kev Hatchard told us there will now be a clamour for Klopp.
He'll be doing punditry right now for Magenta, and he'll be dissecting this defeat. And there'll be a lot of people watching him at home across Germany who'll be saying, right, it's time for Kloppo to give it a go.
After a tense comeback win, we're told by expert Tim Vickery, Brazil is warming to its Italian coach.
And Ancelotti's very happy with where he is because he thinks the best performance they've put so far was Japan. And the second best was in the previous game against Scotland. So he thinks they're getting better game by game by game.
Ancelotti's tweaks allowed Brazil to come back to beat Japan 2-1. And the PGMOL has now officially become pro-ref. As English officials go through a corporate rebrand, it's part of efforts to improve investment to try and make English refs the best in the world. There's more at Talksport.com.
Talksport News.
As he unveils his delayed defence plan, Sir Keir Starmer says the UK faces its most dangerous world in decades, and the government will appoint a maternity commissioner after a damning review of maternity care. Find out more with Emma at past.
Talksport weather with QuickFit. The season's changing, so get your car's shim pads and studs checked for summer with a free vehicle safety check. Book in centre or at quickfit.com today.
Rain across northern and western areas, showers increasing, some thunder in the north today, maybe some patchy rain across southeast England, potentially affecting Wimbledon. Elsewhere, cloudy with brighter spells.
Get ready to get that winning feeling with Talksport Win. This summer, Talksport is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of Talksport Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Good morning, it is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on Talk Sport. We're going to talk African football. Huge number, a record number of teams have got through to the knockout stages. And we saw just how good Morocco are last night. Not that we kind of needed reminding, they are a fine team. We'll be chatting about that with Alistair Houth a little bit later on. But we're going to talk Scotland with Ali Ross. But first, let's hear from Mark McGee, the former assistant manager. He was with Natalie Saw and Joe Shannon on the World Cup Daily podcast, which is available now. Of course, they talked about Brazil, Japan and England tomorrow and playing at altitude potentially at the Azteca. But Mark doubled down on his stance that Steve Clarke deserves a knighthood.
Don't take me too literally. You know, I saw a moment where I thought there was a danger that Steve's reputation and that Steve's legacy was going to be absolutely rubbished, and I tried to step in to give him a bit of support and to say to people, look, wait a minute here, you know, yep, the performances were poor, the results were poor, but there was a lot achieved, and that's all I was doing. And you know, the extreme of that is a knighthood. Now, if he doesn't get a knighthood, at least I hope by raising it, I've got people saying, well, wait a minute, you're right, hold back a little bit, let's stop Pierre a wee bit and give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt.
That's Mark McGee on the World Cup.
Not sure to be really honest.
Well, look, Ali Ross has joined us. I was going to say fresh from the World Cup. That's fresh-ish from the World Cup because it was a brilliant trip, Ali, but not the result you wanted. But I asked you off air about Steve Clarke and how you felt about it, and you said gutted.
I'm really sad. I thought he did an exceptional job as Scotland manager. People have short memories and an enormous sense of entitlement. It just staggers me. The guy got us to 3 tournaments out of 4. And okay, the performance wasn't great out there, but he's trying to make bricks without straw. He doesn't have top-level goalkeepers, centre-backs or a centre-forward. What are you expecting from this team?
That's true.
Did you expect more going out there, or did it kind of go? I mean, it was a tough group, and Brazil and Morocco. There was no expectation you're going to beat them. The feeling was you could beat Haiti and then see what happens. That's kind of what happened, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, as I was telling you, I booked my flight home in December. So at no point did I think I was.
You went in with your eyes open,
wide open.
Yeah.
I've seen some bad things down the years.
Was that true when you're having a beer after the game? The post-mortem after effectively Brazil meant you were out. Were there a lot of the Tartan Army saying, "Oh, he's got to go. We should have done this. We should have done that," or was there a kind of general realism you think from the people you spoke?
General realism, I think. We were shocked. I'm speaking only for my wee group here.
Yeah.
But we were shocked and saddened that he's resigned. I think he's done it. He's quite a short-tempered guy, from what I can gather, and impulsive, yeah. And I think he should have taken a week or two and just sat down with all the people that are important in his life and whose opinions he respects, and had a more of a think about it. I'm convinced he'll regret it.
Yeah. Always makes you wonder why somebody at the SFA didn't say that. Look, just sleep on it, Steve. I mean, but he has subsequently said that he felt if they did go out of the group stage, he was going to step back anyway. He felt he should do, but.
Yeah.
It was a tough group, though. That's harsh.
Yeah. Well, you're seeing that now. Both the teams that have finished ahead of us are straight through to the last 16.
Yeah.
I think he did rule not just the players, but probably the blades as well, with a rod of iron. It's noticeable. Working in newspapers, you know which squads leak and which don't.
Yeah.
And uniquely, almost, Steve Clarke's squad, there were no leaks. And it's probably a frustration for the journalists working on the ground. But from the point of view of a fan, I'm always hugely encouraged by that. It says there's a sense of respect for the manager, which I think all that squad had. They all turned up as well, all the time, throughout his tenure. There were none of the call-offs, really.
Well, there was, we won't mention it because we can't stand this up, but there was one player, of course, well, there have been a couple of players that haven't featured because maybe they didn't turn up, and he was very big on that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Players that maybe could have made a difference out there to you.
You don't cross Steve Clarke twice.
Yeah.
And I think that's to his credit as well.
I mean, they were worth a draw against Morocco. Morocco are a great team. They're touch unlucky.
To go behind that early and be behind the 8-ball. Yes. They should have had. At least one penalty.
Can't legislate for your defenders having a brain fart, can
No, really. I must say, you're wearing a very nice top today.
Check it out, Andy. Thank you.
Have they sold out of DR Congo shirts?
Yeah. Apparently, we read today in the Sun that they're selling rather well in Scotland at the moment. The DR Congo shirt.
Yeah, I've got a creative and bongo on order from Ricardo. I'm Congolese, obviously, on my dad's side.
They will be happy if we go out tomorrow. It's a possibility.
Rest easy, Andy. I think you'll be okay.
Well, I don't know. You've seen the last two. You've seen Holland go out. Netherlands go out, and you've seen Germany go out. And you saw England struggle against Ghana. So
I feel sorry for anybody out there called Joe Block at the moment. It can't be easy. Everybody hates him, don't they?
Can't get around the Joe Block.
Now, this wasn't your first rodeo. I don't know if you went to a rodeo while you were out there, but you travel a lot with the Tartan Army, and
they don't have a lot of rodeos in Boston.
But you do get to see. You go on a lot of Tartan Army trips to far-flung corners of the world. So how did this one compare?
I think this was the Tartan Army's Woodstock, certainly.
So you could have gone there.
Yeah, I could have done.
Yeah.
Italia 90, it reminded me of that a lot, but of course social media and camera phones weren't around then, but there was a lot of the same stuff. I remember getting invited into random Italian households just to have dinner with them because they were so curious.
Do people think you're a kind of... We were talking to some of the boys who went to Mexico in '86 and never came back. They've made a film about it, some England fans. And they thought a kind of hooligan army was going to descend on them. But, of course, they didn't. And they sort of fell in love with them and they realised they weren't actually like that. But, I mean, was there a bit of a... Because football fans, soccer fans have a certain reputation in America, don't they? It doesn't matter where they're from. But there was none of that, I take it.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Not a hint of bad blood or lost tempers or certainly no fighting or...
Yeah.
It's not a place you really want to be messing with the authorities.
It's amazing. It kind of reminds you of a kind of rugby league crowd. You often think with that much alcohol drunk, how... And in situations where things could flare up into club, right? None of that goes on with the Tartan Army. It doesn't with the Irish fans or the Welsh fans.
Watch were out there. Every Scottish regiment was represented. You think... Well, this could go, if they wanted to, this could go very badly, but they are all on their best behaviour. It's very self-conscious.
You feel a responsibility as a member of the Tartan Army to behave yourself then?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. To maintain, uphold that reputation.
Yeah. Shame on anyone that would get arrested in those circumstances, because the goodwill... Boston was made for the Tartan Army. It couldn't have been more... We got there on the first day, sat in an outside bar, and this sweet little old lady came up to me and said, "Do you know the most important greeting in Boston?" Not a clue. She said, "Screw you and tell your mother I was asking for her." I just thought, we're going to like this place.
Strange thing to say.
She didn't say screw.
So that's a little greeting.
They got us immediately. I don't know whether it's the Irish.
Yeah, the Celtic thing.
Which is overwhelming. And infuses every bar there.
So who next then? Finally, Ali, who would you like to see come in if Steve isn't going to change his mind?
I would like Davy Moyes to say, you know what, I've earned my reputation, I've earned enough money, it's time to give something back to the country that gave me everything.
Wow. That's putting a lot of pressure on if he's listening at the moment.
Well, he won't want it. He's getting paid really well at Everton. Well, some things.
In what
are more,
sense, though?
Some things are
Scotland,
more
the
important.
country that gave David Moyes every only reputation.
Well, that's where he started as a player.
Yeah, but I
Started
mean,
as a
Preston, he played.
Yeah,
for,
you
didn't he?
look
I mean,
beyond football here, Andy. You talk about education.
Oh, I see
and
what
his
you
upbringing. And
I thought you meant as
gave him premature white hair.
yeah, well, Dunfermline aside.
Yes.
Sorry. With Darren Fletcher as his number 2.
What about quite a lot of people thought they thought Duncan Ferguson? They'd like to see Big Dunk go in.
No, he turned his back on us in 1996. I don't want him anywhere near the Scotland team.
There we are. This is the inside knowledge you want.
But that really hurt when he did that as well. And it's not forgotten.
And that wouldn't go down well.
that won't go.
No.
Some people might be willing to forgive and forget. They've got short memories, Paul.
Yes. We got long memories. Remember 1966? We don't mention it much.
I had to cover the 250th anniversary of Culloden once, and the guys were all dressed up in their gear, the Highland. And I said to this guy, he's dressed as Bonnie Prince Charlie, I said, what are your thoughts on this again? And he just went, it's all so recent.
Well, Ali, I'm glad you had a great time, and the Tartan Army did the nation proud, I think.
Thanks for your voice.
Whatever happens, the Tartan Army won the World Cup.
They did win the World Cup.
They were very good.
And they didn't have to go at penalties. And the column is back on Friday.
It is, yeah.
You've got to watch terrible telly now for
What
a
the
whole
hell
week.
I'm going to write about?
There's nothing much on it.
There's
It's
nothing.
a lot of repeats.
Football or it's tennis.
A lot of football.
True.
Well, look, thanks for popping in, Ali.
Absolute pleasure.
Just to let you know, it's fight night, Saturday fight night on DAZN. This Saturday, the All-American matchup on Independence Day as Abdullah Mason defends his WBO lightweight title against Albert Bell. I'm sure my granddad used to drink with him. It can't be the same money. It'd be about 130. Join DAZN Ultimate and get 185 plus fight nights and access to 12 plus pay-per-view events. That's every year, including Joshua versus Brenger, and that is on July the 25th at no extra cost.
Boxing update on Talksport with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
Simon has been saying what he means and means what he says, as always. And such was the case just a few days ago when we got onto the topic of, Erling Haaland.
Who would you rather play for your nation out of the two of them, Mbappe or Haaland? Who would you get?
Well, given I think that Haaland is a rude, unpleasant little toad, I would go down the route of Mbappe.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Because of the one occasion in Spain when he's playing paddle tennis, Stuart, and he's sitting there with Alpha Inga Haaland, and and Erling comes over and says to Simon, "You must stop taking my photograph." He wasn't. I mean, you beef up. You were saying, "I'm not trying to photograph you." He thought your phone was out and you were trying to have a picture of him.
With the risk of name dropping, I was playing paddle on a court next to that little twit.
So you were taking his picture?
No, I weren't, mate.
Simon, I love that. So I'm playing paddle tennis.
But it's true.
Well, after that, news got through to Erling Haaland out here in the US, and he has responded on Instagram with a laughing face emoji saying, "Don't know what that little twit toad means, but I'll take that from him." There you go. Your reputation goes before you. Erling's on it.
Well, clearly he recognises the errors of his ways. I'll accept that as an apology.
You actually were not on that day trying to photograph Erling as he's in mid-paddle tennis.
No. If anyone knows, for what this is worth, anything about me, the last thing I want is to take pictures of footballers.
To be honest, Haaland himself has made news out here, but...
Get ready to get that winning feeling with Talksport Win. This summer, Talksport is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of Talksport Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com. Duracell's Extra Mile on Talksport. Different, better, unstoppable.
They're playing at Wimbledon. Katie Bolter of Great Britain is on court. A lot of pressure on her after everything that happened yesterday.
Fabulously successful first day, wasn't it? But there we go.
Anyway, it is time now for Duracell's Extra Mile, where we pick those players that we think went the extra mile, those players that bring a game-changing performance and unstoppable power. I think we can bring you the key moment in the player that we have chosen today. Here it is.
Ismail Saibari, the Moroccan number 11, who scored 3 in 3 at this World Cup before tonight. If he scores this, Morocco are through. Saibari up against Verbruggen, right-footed, finds the bottom corner, and Morocco move through to the round of 16.
Yeah, brilliant performance by him.
Nerve.
He's had a sensational World Cup. He has become the first Moroccan and African to score in 3 consecutive World Cup matches, and has been one of the stars of the show, sort of slightly going under the radar, I guess, unless you're Moroccan. He's off to Bayern Munich, and that tells you a little bit more about the profile of African players. And as Lutz was saying earlier on, Lutz Pfannenstiel, the goalkeeper and coach, that Morocco are a really good side. They're one of the top 10 teams in the world, and they can beat anybody. And it's been brilliant for the African nations, who are doing sensationally well at this tournament. We've caught up with Alistair Howarth throughout the tournament, African football expert, and he rejoins us now. Hi, Alistair.
Hey guys, you all right?
Yeah, I mean, as someone who follows African football, let's start with Morocco, who have been who are flying the flag for the African nations. They have been sensational so far. No one's going to want to play them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, for myself as someone who's covered this team, the performances aren't surprising in terms of the results, how they've been able to go up against a team like the Netherlands and beat them on penalties. I think what's been more surprising is the way in which they've done it. Look, Morocco did so well to reach the semi-finals of the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, but that was a team that was built on defense, on structure, on, counter-attacking, taking their moments. This one is entirely different. Mohamed Hawksbee has come in and transformed the team. Going into this match, Morocco against the Netherlands, I think they registered 801 passes. Only Spain have ever done that at the World Cup. In added time, in the final 30 minutes of extra time, Morocco had 83% possession of the ball against the Netherlands, the home of total football. So I think from a Moroccan perspective, that is where the real kind of gauntlet has been laid. That's where they've kind of said, actually, we really are among the football's elite. That's how they've demonstrated that we're going to not just win games, not just beat the best, but actually beat it on our terms, playing Moroccan football as opposed to what they did the last World Cup.
If you go back to the 90s and remember Cameroon, Italia 90, and all the pundits at that time being asked, could an African nation ever go on and win a World Cup? And you'd get that stuff about the naivety of the defending. And then we went the full circle and the too many European coaches coaching the joy out of African football. But
there's still a lot of that going on.
There is a bit of that, but it seems you found the sweet spot, really, in terms of African football in some cases.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're right to point out the coaching. I think the coaching element is really important. The kind of belief in local coaches from their own country. I think Senegal really were the ones that set that trend maybe about 10 years ago when they brought in Aliou Cisse and just gave him a long time to settle in. And we've seen the success Senegal have had off the back of that, 2 AFCON titles and reaching the knockouts of the World Cup twice in 3 attempts. And we've seen it now with Morocco. And that's one of the reasons why Walid Regragui, their former head coach, stepped down after the AFCON, despite being their most successful coach of all time. There were calls for him to step down. And that's because Morocco have developed a whole coterie of coaches behind him who have been very, very successful. You've got to remember Morocco, although they're, we're not sure if they're the real champions of Africa after the AFCON, they are the current world under-20s champion. They are the current FIFA Arab Cup champions. They are the current African Nations Championship champions, and they are the current African under-23s champions. They have dominated in all spheres of football, and a lot of that has come down to their coaches, and that's why they moved on Walid Regragui, because they had Mohamed Wahbi just sitting in the wings ready to come in, and not just himself, other ones like Tarek Sektawi, who won the Arab Cup. They've been able to develop this football culture, and the coaches are a huge part of that.
Can they win it though? That's the question.
Can they go all the way? And we say went deep into the last tournament, let's not forget, but can they go a bit better than that?
Yeah, I mean, when they came into this tournament, the target was the quarterfinals. Anything beyond that was a bonus, and I think they're on track for that. Can they win it? I'm still a little skeptical, and I think what we've got to remember is this team, both the coach Wahbi, who only came in March, and this team, they're not actually designed for this World Cup. This isn't the World Cup for them. This is a team that's targeting the next World Cup in 2030, when Morocco will host it, when they hope they will host the final in their new super stadium that they're building just outside Casablanca, which would be the biggest football stadium in the world. This is a team full of youngsters, and you saw off the players who came off the bench. Samir El Mourabet, just 20, Jassim Yassin, just 20, Chemzeddine Talbi, 24. That this is what this team is building towards. We've talked about Ayab Bouadi before, 18 and already sparkling in the Champions League and Ligue 1. That is what this team is really about. It's the next World Cup.
Yeah. 9 out. We should point out 9 out of the 10 African teams. Only Tunisia didn't qualify for the knockout stages, which is impressive. We're going to have a look at Ivory Coast tonight. We're expecting Ivory Coast Norway to be an entertaining game. How do you expect them to approach it, Alistair?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fascinating game, because I think Côte d'Ivoire have a very, very strong team. I would argue, player for player, they actually have a better team than Norway, obviously, Erling Haaland withstanding. But I think they'll approach it in many ways the same way they did against Germany, which is to, play a bit on the back foot. But this is a team that's unlike maybe previous Ivorian teams that wanted to play on the break. They're very comfortable on the ball. They have very, very good midfielders. Ibrahim Sangari's had a fantastic season at Nottingham Forest and has carried that into the World Cup. Frank Kessie, former AC Milan midfielder, and Seko Fofana, who's been brilliant in Ligue 1 at times for Lens, as well as the young, very, very talented player, Chris Ulai. And of course, they have their electric wingers, Yan Diomande, who's on the verge of becoming the most expensive African footballer of all time, going to PSG. Amad Diallo, we all obviously know, and Nicolas Pepe, who's also, enjoyed a resurgence. So I think in terms of this game, it will be very, very balanced. I think actually the Norwegians would prefer to give the Ivorians the ball, and I think the Ivorians wouldn't mind that either.
And you told us exactly how Ghana are going to play last week. You got it spot on. We're kind of expecting the same sort of deal from DR Congo, but we've seen how dangerous they are on the break, and we know some of their players, including Visser, and the damage they can cause. So are you expecting the infamous low block and hitting us on the break again?
100%.
Yeah.
Like this is what this DRC team is made for, and not just when they're playing England or Portugal. They are a very, very defensive team. I remember when Sebastien de Sabre came in, the head coach who's kind of transformed the Congolese football. So much of it, he said, was I'm here to implement structures, defensive style, and he's done that. Look, I think since he's taken charge, if my counting is right, they've played 53 matches, and only 4 times have they ever conceded more than once. Only once have they ever conceded more than 2, and that was against Senegal in a World Cup qualifier. This is a team that doesn't score many, but they concede even less. And I think in major tournaments, if you include the final World Cup playoff in that, I think they've had 17 games and only conceded 9. And
I can't wait to watch them. They sound tremendous.
Absolutely. I would not recommend them for the neutrals.
Yeah, but when they popped up and scored some good goals, opportunist goals, and Vissa finished well, I think it's going to be another dangerous evening. We'll see. Alistair, enjoy the game. We'll catch up with you soon. Thanks very much.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
African football expert Alistair Howarth there, reflecting on 9 of the 10 getting through. And we salute once again Ismail Sabari, who scored that winning penalty against the Dutch last night. And he was our Duracell's Extra Mile Player of the Day.
Duracell's Extra Mile on Talksport. Different, better, unstoppable.
Jude Bellingham, 3 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. On the back page of The Sun this morning, Jude says Kane is the GOAT of the 3 Lions. Benny, when people talk about Harry Kane, I can't believe this, but he does divide opinion.
We've had it so many times, haven't we?
Where do you think, amongst the majority of England fans, Harry Kane sits for greatest England player ever? Is he up there?
On stats-wise, I'd probably say yes. I mean, the guy's won World Cup Golden Boot, Euros Golden Boot, and I know people say he's a penalty merchant, but still, those trophies sit on his mantelpiece. But I guess you get judged on what you win at the end of it. Like, or you I almost feel like you've either got to win something or do something where the nation fall in love with you. And I go back to people love Gaza. Didn't win anything, but for whatever reason, people say he's a genius.
But no England players do win anything apart from.
My point. That's why you got to be something a little bit different.
Okay.
So Gaza
In his pomp. Well, he's smashing the place up. What's the matter with you? These footballers all the same.
I apologise.
In his pomp, who you have him, Wazza or Kane?
So I think goal scorer, Kane is better. As a player, all-round player, I think Rooney is better. Okay. But at the end of the day, you're a striker. You're there to score goals, to win games, and he's done that. And I've just spoke about World Cup Golden Boots, Euros Golden Boots. I'd find a way of getting them both in if I had the choice.
Yeah,
Rooney and Kane.
Of course, you would have to.
Yeah.
Last question, then we move on to our next guest. Who's more important right now to England? Is it Bellingham or Kane?
I still say Kane, man. He's still the guy that's in charge of putting the ball in the back of the net.
Is Harry Kane England's greatest ever player? I don't know if you heard our little chat just now.
Yes.
I threw Wayne Rooney into the mix as well. What's your take on all things Harry?
USA 94. What a summer when football became soccer in the blazing heat. It was also the tournament where fashion peaked. This, my friends, is Alexi Lalas. No, he wasn't Scottish. That's a full-blooded American right there. But in all seriousness, forget the hair. Look at the jersey. Dreamy 90s clobber. And it was everywhere. That's the legend that's Georgie Hagi of Romania, Ovs, Brazilian shot stopper, Taffarel, and a Dutch guy. I mean, this was the period we were getting top quality in the Premier League too, but the national team designers raised the level even higher. The pitch was their catwalk as we got Germany, Bolivia, Sweden absolutely rocking it. The kind of kit we're shelling out for on retro sites to this day. And Spain, another beauty. 10 points if you recognise that guy. Of course, this was America, so the cheerleaders didn't want to be outdone. But in the end, 2 of the less is more designs made it to the final. And when Baggio blazed over, Dunga got the honours. The entire summer was an explosion of colour that would have broken Instagram. Sorry, just trying to get that Larson one off eBay. 70 quid. Bargain.
It's showtime on Talksport with BetMGM. We're ready for the action. Are you? Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18 plus. GambleAware.org.
Yes, time to catch up on all the odds with BetMGM. Sean Martin is back. We haven't spoken to Sean from BetMGM since Scotland went out of the tournament. Hi, Sean.
Morning, lads. How are you doing?
Yeah, we just chatted to Ali Ross, who was out there following the Tartan Army, and he's gutted Steve Clarke has gone. He feels like maybe the SFA should have told him to take a deep breath and have a week to, consider it. But, yeah, it's a shame because there's no standout obvious candidates, are there?
I don't think there is, no. I mean, I'm caught, when you look back at the World Cup, I'm caught between kind of acknowledging that results-wise, 1 win and 2 losses was precisely what I expected, but still being pretty disappointed at the performances within those, really. I think 3 points got one team through in the end, and I remember turning to my dad after the Haiti game and just saying, that's not enough, we're going to finish third and not qualify here. Obviously, my one silver lining, to be fair to myself, was correctly proffering John McGinn for Scotland top scorer back when he was 8-1. 1 goal, once again, enough in that particular market, which says quite a bit about the way it unfolded, I think. But yeah, Steve Clarke subsequently gone. I think it leaves Scotland in the lurch somewhat, given he signed a 4-year deal. He's been a massive success as Scotland manager in terms of qualification campaigns. If you remember, no tournaments for I think 23 years. He comes in and it's 3 and 6. But undoubtedly, to me anyway, quite a considerable chunk of miles off it as a tournament manager. 9 games across 3 major tournaments, 0 intent to win any of them, in my view. There were some calls for him to go after the last Euros. I remember I didn't necessarily want him to go. I just wanted to see some lessons being learned. But I suppose 3 tournaments is enough to suggest that they weren't going to be. The problem now, and I think the exact same as you, I don't think there is a realistic standout candidate to replace him. Alex did mention a few names to you guys yesterday. I know he didn't put odds to them. I can put a couple of odds to them now for you if you want. So Big Ange Postecoglou, 7-4 favourite. He does know Scotland as a country. He's been an international manager before, won the Asian Cup with Australia. But realistically, why would he bother rocking up to Hampden when he's got his toe in the door in the Premier League and by proxy other top 5 leagues as well? Davy Moyes, he's 5-1. Seems natural he'd end up Scotland manager, but probably wrong timing for him at the moment. You would think just too soon, given he's still at Everton. Just behind him in the betting, Alex Neil took Millwall to the cusp of the Premier League. John McGlynn, Falkirk manager, standout job in the Scottish top flight last term, 6-1. Something in my bones tells me they might go with Stephen Naismith as a kind of continuity appointment, as he's on staff already. He's 8-1. I heard you yesterday mention Duncan Ferguson as well. He's 12s. And Paul, I think it was you brought Sean Maloney's name up.
I did, I thought that was an interest if you wanted to go down the sort of Craig Bellamy route.
Yeah, he's just signed on to stay with Martin O'Neill at Celtic this season. So although I don't disagree that would have been something I presume would have been interested in, given the kind of context there. He's 12-1, and I doubt that would happen. Further back in the market, I mean, Neil Lennon, 33-1, took Dunfermline to the Premiership playoffs in a Scottish Cup final last season, wins everywhere he goes. It is unlikely, but in terms of managerial ability and CV, you'd have to say he's much more equipped than almost every other name on the list. Some other high-profile names, Scott Brown, 33s, Paul Lambert's way out at 66-1, which I actually thought pretty long. Derek McInnes, 33-1, would have been shorter, I think, and a good shout in my view, but obviously just gone to Rangers, so you would assume that's a non-starter as well. 50-1, by the way, Marcelo Bielsa to bring his bucket to the south side of Glasgow, guys.
That's not going to
I think he's done after what happened there. So on last night, did people have a little punt on reputation? But they shouldn't have done, really, because we all knew how good Morocco were, or were people having a little bet on Morocco?
There were a few, but yeah, obviously the headline from those games is that we lost Germany and the Netherlands, 2 teams who were consistently in the top 7 or 8 of the betting from the outset. A fair few customers got behind Brazil in play when they went in 1-0 down at half time. So absolutely fair play to them. Most got about, I think, 3-1 or so at the time. It didn't work out for those that tried the same with Germany, of course. And Andy, shout to your good self here. You were, 15 seconds away from Brazil 1, Japan 1. Landing as you'd
very unlucky for Japan to meet Brazil. I mean, that's the randomness of this round. You either get, a relatively easy fixture or a really, really tricky one.
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of the impact on the market. First of all, 1-1 Japan-Brazil was about a 5.5 to 1 shout, I think. But in terms of the impact on the market, Brazil and Morocco is who we've kind of seen the most movement on. Brazil were 14 to 1 yesterday. That's come in a few beats to 10s. Morocco were 50 to 1 yesterday, now way in to 22 to 1. And they've got Canada next up in Houston, I think it is.
Oh, they're definitely in the last 8 then.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They're odds on for the last 8. They must fancy it. The other movers were actually France, who don't even play until tonight. They moved into even shorter favourites, 7 to 2 yesterday, 13 to 5 now, largely because Germany and the Netherlands were both in their quarter of the draw, guys.
It's a flaw of this tournament, isn't it? I mean, playing the Netherlands is a much harder game in the last 32 than playing Canada in the last 16.
Yeah, well,
you can't even compare it.
That's the nature of it. Let's have a quick look at tonight then.
Seeding, I think, might be a better idea.
Yeah, Ivory Coast, Norway. What about this one?
Yep, 3 more games tonight, as you say. Ivory Coast versus Norway, first up at 6 p.m. for the right to play Brazil in the next round. Norway marginal favourites, 21 to 20 to win in 90 minutes, 4 to 7, so odds on just to get through. It's over 2 to 1 or just over 2 to 1 for Ivory Coast in 90 and 27 to 20 for them to go through. Erling Haaland, we always see a lot of backing for him. He's scored at least 2 goals in each of his last 6 competitive games for Norway. He's just under 4 to 1 to get at least a brace again tonight. The later kick-off, early hours of the morning, Mexico against Ecuador, the winner of which obviously would play England. A few lads managed to get past Congo. Mexico not lost at the Azteca since 2013 and never lost there in a World Cup across all 9 games, 1970, 1986 and so far this tournament. 57 to 50 favourites. They had a statistically good group stage, Mexico. Maybe the eye test not quite up to snuff, but statistically won all 3 games. One of only 2 sides with Spain to concede precisely 0 goals in the groups as well. They're 11 to 20 to get through. The middle game though, the 10 p.m. one, is the one that's attracting by far the most attention so far. Our end, France versus Sweden.
Yeah.
Winner plays Paraguay in Philadelphia. The French 4 to 1 on just to win in 90. That narrows to 9 to 1 on just to qualify. France not lost a first knockout round tie at the World Cup since 1934, guys. They've not always got there, but when they do get past into that first knockout round tie, they've not lost it since 1934.
Wow,
scored 10 already this tournament. Do concede a few goals. I think both teams have scored in 7 of their last 8 and all of Sweden's last 9. One of the most popular players, like Erling Haaland, probably more popular on our end than Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe. I keep hearing folk mentioning that he had a poor season. Yes, Real Madrid did go on trophyless, but Mbappe, I had a wee look at it, 42 goals in 44 games, plus 10 and 11 for France. Since he get that armband for France as well, 31 starts, 24 goals, 19 assists. It's ridiculous stuff. So he's in my bet builder for this one. France to win, both teams to score, Mbappe to score, and the match to have 8 or more shots on target. That's round about 4.5 to 5 to 1 at the moment.
It sounds a very likely one. Good stuff, Sean. We'll catch up with you tomorrow. Thanks very much.
Cheers, guys.
There we are. Sean Martin from BetMGM. That's all the latest odds with BetMGM. You can visit BetMGM or download the app. 18 plus begamblerware.org.
It's showtime on Talksport with BetMGM. Keep things golden with responsible play at betmgm.co.uk. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Ronald de Boer joining us for a chat shortly to reflect on Holland crashing out the tournament. Before that, though, it was a brutal day for British tennis, whether through injury, pullouts, or good old-fashioned defeats. We've got a couple of British girls.
Not good enough. That might be the other reason.
A couple of British girls playing currently. Lisa O'Sullivan has the latest. Hi, Lisa.
Yeah, there was one point yesterday that potentially with the 11 players scheduled on court, we could have had 12 go out because Jack Draper, of course, was forced to withdraw. Jack Pennington-Jones is coming back to finish his match from yesterday, but he's 2 sets down in that one and 4-3 down in the third, so it's not looking great. Maybe a good night's sleep, and we might have a winner from day one. At the moment, we have our eyes on Katie Bolter, who's taking on Tyra Grant of Italy, who is one of the new sensations, one of the up-and-coming players. She's been on the radar for quite some time, and the Italians taken the first set 6-4. It's a really tough match for Katie Bolter, this one, I have to say. And perhaps on a slightly more positive note, as I change my screen to get the other score for Katie Swan, she's just serving for the first set against Irina Camelia Begu of Romania. She's 5-4 up in that one. And also keeping an eye over on court 14 on Harry Wendelken, who is 5-3 up against Valentin Valentine Royer of France. Maybe a British win today? Yeah, maybe not.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. As we said, Ronald de Boer, former Netherlands midfielder, will be joining us for a chat shortly to reflect on last night. Were mistakes made by Ronald Koeman? Were they a bit too defensive? We'll get the thoughts of Ronald de Boer shortly. We're here, of course, with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
Ronaldo is top, still top. But Haaland, for instance, is a better finisher.
Let me ask you this. In world football, I said this, Bentley, on yesterday's show, and I got a little bit of criticism. In his pomp, right? I'll ask you both. I'll start with Bentley.
I heard it.
I said R9 is a better finisher than Cristiano Ronaldo. He's a better striker, number 9.
Do you know what you said, right? And you said he was a better goal scorer.
Okay.
Right? Now, for me, R9 is a better centre forward. Like, I don't think it's even close, right? But what people will do is look at the numbers. And this is where sometimes stats-wise, like the new generation will go, if I say R9's better than Ronaldo, Cristiano, they're going to go, are you crazy? He's got 1,000 goals. But sometimes it's not about just stats. It's about what does your eyes tell you. And anyone who's watched it, you would have watched him. R9 is the best centre forward I've ever seen.
R9, for me, that's my hero. He is... That's why I wanted to become a striker. You look at him, and Ronaldo has done absolutely magnificent. Yeah, and Ronaldo, it's all about numbers and goal scoring, and he's obsessed with that, and that makes him so good. But R9 is just phenomenal. He's just incredible.
Better.
As a footballer,
so
you
much
both
more
agree natural.
With me on that.
Yeah, but you said because the way you said goal scorer.
Yeah.
Now you can't compare the numbers because Ronaldo's numbers are crazy.
You know what I mean? Like a better player.
He's a better player.
Yeah.
He's a better player. He's the things that he used to do, picking up the ball and dribbling. The goals that he scored for Barcelona. Oh my.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from Talksport. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Win 26 grand in your hand, courtesy of Talksport Win.
Yes, England are celebrating now. It's your turn. Talksport have commentary of every single game from the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving you the chance to win £26,000 in cash. The best part, completely tax-free. That's right, £26,000. Here's how to enter.
For your chance to win, visit talksportwin.com or text WIN to 83338 by 6 p.m. on the 20th of July 2026. Text costs £2.50 plus a standard network rate. We'll send your name and number posted. Comp 1 PO Box 3190, coach the CO2 8GP to arrive by midnight on the 23rd of July 2026. 18 plus UK residents only. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Now it's a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck understanding what Andy said, to be honest.
Peter O'Sullivan.
They normally speed them up, but Andy just did it naturally, blimey. Anyway.
Without a slip.
Two big shocks. Sort of World Cup royalty in the Netherlands and Germany going out of the tournament, both on penalties. Although, as Lutz Pfannenstiel was saying last night, no disgrace really from a Dutch point of view, because Morocco are above them in the FIFA rankings and a very good side. But still, the disappointment will be huge. And joining us now to reflect on that, the former Netherlands midfielder Ronald de Boer. Hi, Ronald.
Hi, Paul, Andy. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. I mean, there's been a little bit of criticism subsequently I've seen sort of on social media from Dutch football fans feeling that maybe Ronald Koeman was a touch too defensive in his setup. Do you agree with that?
Yes and no. I think he decided to change the system because of the chances they gave in the previous games. Quite a big amount of chances they gave away. They scored 10 goals, but they also conceded 4. And he thought against a better opponent like Morocco, we have to be better in that. So he chose with 5. In one way, I understand, and I also prefer to play this system with 5 in the back, with the quality of players you have, like Dumfries and Van der Ven. They are runners. They used to use the whole line, the left and the right side. But what I didn't understand is that he played with 3 in front. I would like to see with 2 and 3 midfield, because there lies the problem. And we all saw that Holland didn't have any control on the midfield. Morocco had continuously had the ball. So I think Koeman, of course, when you not gamble, when you choose a certain system, but you see after 50 minutes it doesn't work because you don't have the ball. I think 72% of ball possession for Morocco. Then you should change something. And I think he should, in my eyes at that time, bring an extra midfielder, get a striker off and play 2 in front. I think then you would have more control, but also had more depth with running players from the midfield, because there was a big problem, I think, in this match.
Yes, that seemed to be the problem, wasn't it? Frankie de Jong just couldn't seem to get the ball to Gakpo and Brobbey and Somerville. There seemed to be no link up, did there?
Yeah, exactly what you say. And I think that has to do with, because you had only 2 midfielders, and then you have 5 in the back, of course. And then you feel you lose the control. And Frankie, I think he's a great player, but he has to have players around him. And I think Guardiola always said that you can't have enough midfielders in your team. I think there was the problem. I think that is, you can blame that on himself, like Koeman. That, of course, you take a decision, that's fine, and sometimes it doesn't work, your plan. But then you have to react, and I think he didn't react. The whole 90 minutes, even 120 minutes. And saying this, and that is the beauty of football, and another way it's strange. If you're not the how you say that, if you with football is the only sport when you're worse than your opponent, you can still win the game. And that was basically what happened in this game, because you come 1-0 ahead, and then 2 minutes in extra time you get the equalizer. Then the penalty series starts quite well for the Dutch, and at the end you walk away. What deservedly you walk away with nothing, but it could easily fall our way, and that is sometimes also the beauty of football, but also a big strength. Because with tennis, if you were much better than your opponent, you win. And with football, that is something that is not always happening. You saw it with Germany against Paraguay. Germany had a lot of possession, but they couldn't really break down, and they're out also. So what you just said, 2 great nations and out, but great nations not showing the real face, and that I think hurts, especially in Holland. And there lies the criticism for Koeman. We didn't see the Dutch football taking initiative with a lot of ball possession, going forward, pressing high forward. It was 120 minutes just hoping to survive.
Yeah, I mean, it comes to penalties again, and obviously you've had experience of that over the years. They do. I mean, Verbruggen had been very busy. He played very well in the game.
Saves,
He was incredibly unlucky with one of the penalties.
The second one, yeah.
But what is it about the Dutch and penalties? I mean, I'm sure it's not the first time you've been asked that question.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we're not strong in our head when we take the penalties. Maybe we are too nervous. I don't know what is happening. Because in one way you can say, okay, hey, you can train penalties, because when you take a free kick 100 million times, like what Tiger Woods said, why you train so much, because to get less lucky, and it's a bit the same with penalties. If you shoot 100 million times in a certain way, probably when you have to execute it, you do it probably in the same way. I think that is something, but still the pressure you can't compare it with a normal like on training, and I think that is always the difficult. I think, for example, Justin Kluivert, he did okay when he saw the goalie move the other way and he just hit it on the post. Yeah, tell me, is that lack of quality with him? I don't know. Maybe just a little bit of pressure that you feel at that moment, and you can experience that in training, I guess.
No, absolutely.
He's normally a good penalty taker.
Yeah, definitely.
There'd been that moment. I mean, you felt sad for Cody Gakpo at the end of the game because he had the highest score in the goal after a terrible week him and his partner had. Yeah. But you just kind of sensed it wasn't to be. But that was a very emotional moment. You saw the team come around him, Ronald, didn't you?
Yeah, that was an incredible moment. And I think you know it. You have kids, and everybody understand that it was a terrible tragedy, a terrible loss. And when that happens, everybody, because you're already 4 or 5 weeks together, you're sort of a family. And when that happens to one of your teammates, you want to support them. And it was a beautiful gesture that gives you also the feeling that it's a unity, this group. And so I was very pleased for him. And unfortunately, it wasn't enough, but I think that was a great moment of unity.
And just finally, Ronald, do you think that your old teammate Ronald Koeman will be under pressure? Do you feel that there'll be a move to try and change coach for the Dutch?
Now, let me put it this way. I think Ori does it himself, and I think he will, because the pressure is high. And he said, I'm going to think about it, and maybe one night or maybe 2 nights. But he's going to step away for 100% sure, and he will do it on his terms, because if he's not doing it, I think the Nigel de Jong, the technical director of the federation, will do it, because we need a new fire in this Dutch team, and starting with the coach. And I think that will happen. I think soon we're going to hear that soon. And I think also Van Dijk will say, the captain who was an amazing captain. I think he will also say probably that this is my last game. He has also a lot of criticism. Not taking the team by the hand, but still, all respect for Virgil van Dijk, because he has been a great captain, but sometimes it's time to go.
That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he reacts like that as well. But Ronald, good to talk to you. We really appreciate that.
Welcome.
Thank you. Take care.
Yeah.
Ronald de Boer there.
It's flawed. This whole round is flawed. You shouldn't have a situation where 6th ranked in the world is playing 7th ranked in the world. They should seed this.
Well, that was the highest ranking of any of the ties that have been played.
It's not right. It isn't right, But there you go. That's the way it is.
Imagine Argentina will get Cape Verde done. That would be some story if they did.
That would be a shock.
Wouldn't it?
No, it would be.
That would be the ultimate low block. It's going to be such an interesting game, that. I mean, it could be over in 10 minutes.
Yeah, but that's where Messi is so useful.
Or it could be a fascinating game. And of course, like every game at the World Cup, it will be live on Talksport. So still to come, we're going to get a bit of insight into a Brit abroad. Ashley Westwood, who we remember from Villa and Burnley, amongst others, has been playing for Charlotte FC. He's their captain these days. So he can give us some insight into the kind of mood out there among American football fans. Angelina Kelly is out and about, as is our own Alex Crook. We'll be catching up with him, looking at some of the big transfer stories of the day. Also, some of the weather and whether it's going to affect any of the fixtures. We know we've got a weekend of hot weather, getting into 40-plus degrees for some of the games. So that's all to come in the final hour of the show.
Germany's shock exit against Paraguay on penalties. A side ranked 31 places below them. So get this, I don't know if you're aware of this, since winning the World Cup in 2014, Emmanuel, Germany's record is this. In 2018, out in the group stage, 22 out in the group stage, 26 round of 32.
Unbelievable.
What is going on with German football at the moment?
I think Gary Lineker have to change what he said about the Germans now. Because he used to say that football is a game that German always win. You know, at the end of the game, it's always German that win. But they are not winning anymore.
No,
it's a mess. It's a crash. It's a big failure. So I think today, within the next few days, I think it's gonna be a huge fight. You know, in the newspapers, and people will want some head to fall down. So. I'm very, very sad for the Germans, but in the meantime, I'm very happy because honestly, I don't have a big link with Germans, but what I saw last night reminds me what happened to us, during the World Cup 1998 against Paraguay. Remember, back in days, we had the golden goal, scored by Laurent Blanc.
Sport.
1 minute past noon, good afternoon. What's the solution to England's right-back dearth as their first knockout game fast approaches tomorrow? We expect it to be Jed Spence starting, but with no Kwanzaa available, it means Konza will have to be ready to fill in. His club teammate Ollie Watkins says if required, the nominal centre-back has all the required attributes.
He played there. I remember we played against Brazil and Vinicius couldn't get past theirs. He's so solid, so he can go and really excel there and make it really tough for top-class wingers to get past him.
Before England, though, the favourites, the French, play tonight live on Talksport against Sweden at 10 p.m. Emmanuel Petit says the fact that Didier Deschamps will leave his role as head coach after the tournament following the passing of his mother is enhancing the bonds between their superstars.
We saw that last week, for example, with Kylian Mbappé. Don't worry, Gaffer, we all love you and we're all behind you. We will try everything we can, So this is something for me important. Sometimes you need extra X factor, extra motivation.
Petit also thinks Nagelsmann has to be replaced as the German boss following their exit. Regarding the Dutch, Chelsea legend Mario Melchiot thinks Ronald Koeman will also likely be moved on. He reckons there are certain teams at the tournament who are showing more fire in their bellies than others.
Watching Holland, the passion that they compete with from the other opponents is something they have to take from them. The Latins have great passion, but if you saw what the passion the Africans are bringing now, it's a different league.
And after 10 Brits crashed out yesterday, a mixed start today too at Wimbledon. Katie Boulter, who got to the semis at Queen's, is trailing by a set and a break to 18-year-old Tyra Grant. But Katie Swan in the women's and Harry Wendelken in the men's singles are both a set to the good in their first round matches.
Talk Sport News.
Road and energy projects will be scrapped to fund a long-awaited plan to boost defence spending, and government to appoint maternity commissioner after a review finds mums and babies are being severely let down. Emma has more at past.
Talk Sport weather with QuickFit. Keep summer journeys safe. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com to book your tyres, MOTs and servicing so you can drive away happy every time.
Rain across northern and western areas, showers increasing, some thunder in the north today, maybe some patchy rain across southeast England as well.
Hello.
US football forecast on Talk Sport with QuickFit, a team selection that everyone would be happy with this summer. QuickFit, drive away happy every time.
Yes, time to look ahead to the latest weather over in America, all thanks to QuickFit. And Hayley Meyer joins us once again from Fox Weather in New York. Hi, Hayley.
Hello. It's going to be a hot one here in the States. I'll tell you that much.
Well, you were telling us yesterday, it's had a bit of coverage over here, and they're saying for the games on sort of Friday and Saturday, Miami, etc., into 40 degrees, as you were telling us yesterday. So it's being flagged up over here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, today with the game with France versus Sweden at New York, New Jersey Stadium, about almost overnight hours for you guys, British Standard, but temperature is going to be about 29 degrees Celsius. So we're pushing the temperature scale, but the big time heat where we're talking about 40 degrees Celsius, potentially record breaking all time warmest temperature ever recorded in Philadelphia is possible with 105 degrees air temperature. But then you add on the humidity of 70 degrees plus, and that'll feel like 110. But for today, we're slowly easing into the heat, so it's not quite here. Ivory Coast versus Norway, about 1800 British Standard, about 31 degrees Celsius. The Dallas Stadium is indoors, so not really worried about the match in general, but it is still going to be somewhat hot and humid for that fan experience. And then we go over to Mexico City, which this is one of our later games, and so that's really going to be helping out Mexico versus Ecuador, where temperature is about 17 degrees Celsius for the game, possibly a little bit warmer than that to start things off, and then we'll watch temperatures start to cool off a little bit. But yeah, the heat, it's potentially record-breaking, as I mentioned, and I know that you guys over in the UK, you just went through it. So at least we're all kind of dealing with this together across the world, and I think soccer or football is a very universal sport, so I guess weather is kind of the other universal science, I suppose.
I think we're back up to 30 degrees in the UK.
Those other the 40, then it's getting to the danger levels.
110, wow. They're going to deserve the hydration breaks for those games, certainly.
Yeah, I don't mind a hydration break in this case.
Thanks very much, Hayley.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hayley Meyer there for Fox Weather in New York, and that was all the latest weather. Thanks to QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
US football forecast on Talksport with QuickFit. Your car's star player you can always rely on this summer. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
This is a good story. You like this?
Yes, Andy.
Only the Daily Star could do this one. Aliens could make their first contact with humans at the World Cup, according to British UFO investigator Mark Christopher Lee. No, that was Pierluigi Collina.
Yeah, Mark Christopher Lee. Who's going to mark Christopher Lee?
No
I'd put Peter Cushing on him, man for man. Yes, a good point was made here. Maybe this is Neil in Chester. He says, my enthusiasm for this World Cup is being severely dampened by the kickoff times. And I'm learning that the potential game for England against Mexico is 1 a.m. on a Monday morning. That's absolutely right.
And that is a problem.
Had me thinking, what were the kickoff times in Mexico 86? I don't remember them being this late. And you know what? With the passing of time, maybe we have sort of forgotten about that. But I've just gone back to something, it's called Random Radio Jottings. It says the World Cup returned to Mexico for the 86 tournament with time difference leading to 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. kickoff UK time.
Yeah, so that's later.
Yeah. So there were some 11, well, no, not as late as, not 1 a.m.
No, but there were less teams. There were less games to get in.
Yeah, and I think they were.
That's the problem.
They would often be lent on by European telly, which was all powerful then, and maybe had to sort of change them accordingly. But it's a good point, Neil, because I don't remember it being quite as, difficult to watch the games. But Mexico are only getting a proportion of the matches anyway, So there we are. Thank you for that. If Steve Clarke should get a knighthood, what should Chris Coleman get for taking Wales to the semi-finals of the Euros? Says Mateen. Fair point.
Good point.
Yeah.
Brian Linford, he's chipping in with his World
serial
Cup
letter writer to the Star. Yeah.
All in capitals. Ronaldo, 41.
Yeah.
First man to score at 6 World Cups. Paul Scholes.
Yes.
Capital letters. Said he'd only start keeper 41 as at that age the outfielders negatively impact the team. Oops, egg on your face there, Paul. It's great, isn't it?
That's his letter. Oh, tremendous.
Yeah, and this one. What a brilliant bit of judgment by this bloke, if calling himself Man City Bluecoats. If England have any chance of winning the World Cup, we've got to drop that selfish, preening poser Bellingham. It's a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man of the match twice.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it, mate. Brilliant.
Yeah, so this is a little... I saw Chris Bascom wrote a piece in the Telegraph, I think, talking about just the amount of people you see watching these games. They go to the matches and they're watching the games via their mobile phones.
Oh, well, this is old.
I mean, I know.
An old do.
But it's like, there you are in the moment, and you're just about to see Ronaldo or Messi take a penalty or a free kick. And you just think, just in the moment.
I've told a lot. I get that at Chelsea with the sort of foreign. I've told a lot of them off.
Yeah.
So to them, just watch the game, mate. You're filming it through your phone. Why don't you just record the game at home, and then you can watch if you're that desperate. But you're doing that on your phone. You'll never watch that clip again. Don't bother.
Yeah.
I shamed this bloke last season putting his phone away.
What did he say? All right, Grandad. But it's just, remarkable the amount.
Natural.
Just not enjoying that moment. Broadcasters, this is in the Times today, broadcasters have warned that armchair supporters who remain glued to their phones whilst watching matches risk having key moments spoiled as they play out on TV. So if you're sitting there on your phone, and it's happened to all of us watching football. So just to give you a guide, AM and FM radio were near instantaneous as goals or big moments happen. Right? Digital radio has a delay of 2 seconds. Broadcast television has a delay of 5 to 20 seconds.
Does this all come from broadcast jottings?
Yeah, no, this is not. That's moved on. But all I'm telling you is, if you're watching the telly and you're on your phone, you know.
Oh no! Also, if you're texting each other, you miss something.
Yeah,
I've done that a few times.
You told me about England's second goal when I was watching at my son's place, and he was in delay because he was watching it on an iPlayer. And there's a delay of 30 or 100 seconds. And I'm sitting there, a corner's about to come up. He said, well, that'll help. So I did slightly ruin it for them. I said, I think we may be slightly behind Andy watching the game. So just be aware that you could ruin your viewing experience depending on how you're viewing it.
I don't know if you saw this story. An England cap awarded to Jimmy Greaves after the match in which he tackled a pitch-invading pooch.
I remember that, yeah.
Could fetch £5,000.
It weighed on him, didn't it?
Yeah, that's the bit it doesn't mention in the piece. Yeah. It's... Charles Hanson have got the cap, and but that's the whole story. You can see the footage, and you can see the dog actually.
And you didn't need UHD for that, did you? You saw the dog weed all over him.
No,
did you? I don't know if anybody's seen. If you haven't seen this yet, you might want to go and check it out on social media, if you're on smart TV or YouTube, we'll maybe play it to you now. This was some Paraguay fans in Asuncion watching the game in Paraguay, and as it came down to the most important penalty, the screen had something pop up saying we're about to go off air, and they went off air. So the fans just go nuts. I don't know if they go nuts because the screen's gone off, but it comes back on about 5 seconds later, and then they can obviously see Paraguay have won.
It's the timing of it. As the bloke steps up to take the last penalty.
Yeah, first they can't see the goal, and they think that's as bad as it's going to get, but then suddenly it's gone, completely blank screen. I bet the governor of that bar probably got some stick. Anyway, you can go and check that out. It's trending, isn't it, today? So still to come with us today, Alex Crook will be joining us. There's some interesting transfer stories taking shape. I take it he's in Atlanta by now, Alex, isn't he? Ready for the game. So he's in New York.
No, he's in New York. Okay. I think he's going to go and interview those blokes.
Oh, okay. Is he still wearing a cowboy hat around New York? Must be like John Voight.
Or J.R. Ewing or something.
Ashley Westwood's going to join us from Charlotte FC these days, a former Burnley and Villa midfielder. Tell us how the tournament's going down amongst the people he knows in the States. And Angelina Kelly out and about chatting to the England fans ahead of the game against DR Congo, 5 o'clock tomorrow, live on Talksport. But Crookie up next. We're here with our good friends at Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
Jimmy, do you think behind Kane, Bellingham is our most important player?
I think they are on a par together. I think he is something else. You know, he's got a habit of turning up in really important moments. If you look at the goals that he scores and when he scores them, you know, 1-0s, and Benty will agree with me, it's so important to score the 1-0s and 1-1s, the 2-1s, you know, those important goals. Not a lot of players can do that. And he has got that thing around him. I don't know how he does it, but he just has it, that he turns up at really important moments, like an overhead kick, for instance, like the goal other day, out of nothing. You know, it's just the feeling for him, putting his left foot around it and score. You know, that's why I want him closer all the time to the box, to the goal.
He's world class, right?
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from Talksport. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received. Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Head back to Wimbledon and chat to Lisa O'Sullivan. Lisa, we didn't have time to line up. Another one bites the dust by Quinn. Bring us the bad news.
Are you looking at my script?
Yeah.
Are you looking at my script?
Oh, I didn't
that's
know.
What I've written.
Oh,
okay.
Katie Bolter is out. The 29-year-old outplayed by the up-and-coming Tyra Grant. The 18-year-old Italian is widely tipped to be heading into the world's top 20 this year, and she has gone into the second round on her Wimbledon debut with a straight sets win. So a great result for the Italian, but kind of no surprise. It's not what Katie Bolter would have wanted, so I've shifted my focus over to Katie Swan, who is currently 6-4, 5-3 up on Irina Camila Begu of Romania. So potentially we may have a British winner after 11 players went out consecutively in this first round.
Great day for the LTA. Thanks, Lisa. Yeah, blimey.
At least they're not squandering the money from Wimbledon.
Anyway, it's time now to look at today's So Good moment of the day with Meantime.
The So Good moment of the day on Talksport with Meantime. Talksport have teamed up with Meantime to create So Good lager for the World Cup. Available now at all O'Neill's pubs and some of the best sports bars in the UK. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Paul in Liverpool says, I have the solution for the low block. The fizzed pass from just outside the area to the number 9. Control, turn, shoot in one movement. Much like Undav's second goal against Ivory Coast. And Martinelli's equaliser for Brazil. It was winner for Brazil last night, says Paul in Liverpool. And that, funnily enough, Paul, is our So Good moment of the day. Let's relive it now.
McGee, left-footed, big chance, the winner, Gabriel Martinelli. Brazil have got away with it. A 96-minute goal from Martinelli after a mistake from Tanaka. And a day that looked as though it could be an ignominious World Cup exit for Brazil. Now, surely, destined to end with victory.
It was a great goal, wasn't it? It was really well taken.
Oh, it was lovely.
Yeah, and I know what you mean by that fizz pass. It does seem to, but you've got to act on it quickly before like those 3 defenders jump in front of you. But Martinelli certainly did.
Can't keep doing that the whole game.
No. So that was a So Good moment of the day with Meantime. Talksport have teamed up with Meantime to create So Good lager for the World Cup. Available now at all O'Neill's pubs and some of the best sports bars in the UK. 18 plus. Always drink responsibly.
The So Good moment of the day on Talksport with Meantime. Talksport have teamed up with Meantime to create So Good lager for the World Cup. Available now at all O'Neill's pubs and some of the best sports bars in the UK. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Across now to New York, catch up with our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook. Hi, Crookie.
Oh, the hat. The hat's there.
They must think you're from out of town when they see it. As I said, it's got a real midnight cowboy vibe to it, that.
I have to say, I've not seen too many locals wearing similar headwear, but do you know what? It's here to stay, at least for this tournament, and who knows, maybe when I'm back in London as well.
You haven't burnt your head, you haven't got burnt, have you? So that's one good thing.
No, and do you know what? It's going to come in very useful, guys, over the next few days, because I was just looking at my phone there as you threw to me. I've got a heat warning. It's going to get up to about 102 degrees in New York over the next few days. So, yeah, sweltering conditions. And as you know, the stadium in New Jersey, we're going to be there to watch France against Sweden this afternoon, and Brazil in their round of 16 tie at the weekend. Doesn't have a roof, so all protection is gratefully received.
Yeah, that hat will certainly come into its own.
We were saying yesterday, just now, that England have been lucky they actually haven't had to play a hot weather match yet.
No, they haven't. Obviously, the stadiums that they've used so far, by and large, have been air-conditioned. They were here in New Jersey for the final group game, but it was absolutely bucketing down with rain. We were all sat there in ponchos as they beat Panama 2-0. So, they've escaped the heat so far, but they've got this ridiculous travelling schedule, haven't they, where they want to go back to their base in Kansas after every game. So they're going to spend a lot of time in the air in these knockout rounds. Their next game in Atlanta, if they win that, and we all hope they do against DR Congo live on Talksport, then it's on to Mexico City. And I've just had confirmation this morning, boys, of my flights for Miami. If England get there for the quarter-finals, it should be England against Brazil. What an occasion that would be.
Wow, that would be an interesting one. Let's look at some of the transfer stories of the day. The Alex Scott one is interesting. It seems that Bournemouth have knocked Arsenal back. Do you expect this one to run and run?
Well, I don't think it went as far as a sort of formal offer, but certainly the question was asked of Arsenal, by Arsenal, if Bournemouth were willing to cash in on Alex Scott. The answer was a flat no. They're in negotiations about a new contract. I expect that contract to include an Antoine Semenyo style release clause. I think it'd be interesting to see if that release clause kicks in January, as it did, of course, with Semenyo mid-season, or they wait until the end of next season. Certainly what I'm told about Alex Scott, he's not the type of character who's going to actively push for a move, but the biggest clubs in the country are certainly looking at him, and you can understand it. I think he was really unlucky not to force his way into the England squad. I would probably have taken him ahead of Jordan Henderson on form at the end of the season, and he's the type of profile that all the big clubs are looking at. It used to be that strikers were the precious commodity, but it's all about those central midfielders now, isn't it?
United's need for, you'll be concerned about this, Alex, for a midfielder's hastened, hasn't it, because of Ugarte's injury. They do need to do, and Casemiro's retirement, so they need to do a bit.
That's money they could have spent, Ugarte, money that they can't spend now.
Yeah, I think that's the bigger concern. Not so much that Ugarte won't be available probably for most of the new season, but more that they were planning on cashing in. There was interest. That obviously isn't going to happen now. I'm told it hasn't derailed their plans. They still want to add to that midfield area. They've got Edison coming in from Atalanta over in Italy. That deal is done. Mateus Fernandes is the one I think they're pursuing most actively. So are Tottenham. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top in that particular race. In the past, you would have said Manchester United will win hands down, but with the type of money that Tottenham are throwing about now in terms of wages, might not be as straightforward as it seems.
Well, potentially throwing about, because you understand my timeline is full of Tottenham edging ever closer, Tottenham feeling more confident that they can sign. But they were very confident that Eze was coming. They were very confident that Morgan Gibbs-White was coming.
Different time, different regime.
Well, I don't know. I'm slightly damaged by that. I mean, how do you think Tonali will happen? Or there's a bit of talk that City might just jump in as well late on.
Yeah, I spoke to someone senior at another Premier League club a couple of days ago, and their view was that if Tonali goes anywhere, it will be Tottenham. I think I've mentioned to you boys before, 270 grand a week is the wage offer on the table from Spurs. That's a lot of money for Tonali to turn down, and whether Manchester City will match that or not, I don't know. Is he a 270 grand a week player? Is he a £100 million player? I think the market's gone mad, to be honest. I love Elliot Anderson. I think he's a terrific footballer. I think him and Jude Bellingham have been England's two best players this tournament so far. But 130 million for Elliot Anderson is what Forest are briefing. That seems an awful lot of money.
Yeah, I agree. I think that too. But that's the price. It'll be interesting to see if City do anything else in midfield. I mean, apparently they're going for Malagusta, aren't they, for right back? I mean, you expect Maresca to sort of be linked with some of the players he had at Chelsea.
Yeah, Enzo Fernandez would be the obvious one. It's pretty clear. I think he wants out of Chelsea. He said that publicly, didn't he? When he was hankering for a move to Madrid. Chelsea not actively looking to sell, but my understanding is they got an offer of £120 million. They would do business. The price tag on Gusto, by the way, when those City links emerged, £75 million again.
That's mad.
Is Malo Gusto a £75 million player?
Definitely. I'd be quite happy for him to go. I don't particularly rate him. I know he's in the French squad, but I think he makes a lot of mistakes. But there we are.
Jan Diomande, you're going to see in action this evening. It seems there's a few reports out of Germany that he's going to stay with Leipzig, so PSG could be disappointed as well as Liverpool.
Yeah, I think there was always a strong chance that he'd do one more year. Leipzig were certainly not looking to cash in. We know that Liverpool made one offer of 80 plus 20 million that was turned down. I think Leipzig's asking price is a lot higher than 100 million, and even for PSG, for a player who's only really had 1 year in the Bundesliga, maybe they've just decided that's too rich as well. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he stayed. Liverpool looking at other alternatives now. Bradley Barcola is one of them, but again, the message coming out of Paris is that he's not for sale, and I think if Diomande does stay, then Barcola, getting him out might prove difficult as well. It's a tough market for those wingers so far this summer.
But neither of them can get a start at PSG because Kvaratskhelia, so they're both sort of wasting their time.
Yeah.
And Doué on the other wing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Dembele.
Quick one on Hayden Hackney as well. Looks like Everton are going to get their man for 25 million. And I've seen him a few times, and I think he looks a great player. I think he's one of those that we'll be saying in 2 years' time, a bit like they did with Bowen and Andy Robertson and others who've stepped up. Why didn't one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the league with respect to Everton snap him up? I mean, Andy said he's seen him. He didn't have a great game in the game he saw. I've seen him 3 or 4 times, and I think he looks an excellent player.
Yeah, Alex Scott obviously came from the Championship via
Another
Bristol
one,
City,
yeah.
so similar profile. Yeah, I thought he was terrific. Even in that Championship playoff final, clearly wasn't fully fit. Only played the last half an hour. Was the best player on the pitch in my eyes when Middlesbrough lost to Hull. I think when they didn't go up, there was always a massive opportunity that he would leave. And as you say, it looks like Everton have won the race. £25 million fee agreed. True piece of business from David Moyes. And it does show you. I had this row with Jamie O'Hara when at that stage he was being linked with Tottenham, and Jamie was saying, well, we shouldn't be signing players from the Championship. I think there's some great players who come out of the Championship. I think it's really disparaging to say that, and I think Hayden Hackney looks every inch a Premier League player.
Well, enjoy the rest of your day, Crookie. Appreciate you joining us, and keep rocking that hat.
Yeehaw!
Save you a lot of sunburn and a few headaches, I'm sure. There we are. There's Alex Crook there in New York, still wearing his.
He looks like he's made out of cardboard, like white cardboard.
I think it cost him $100.
No.
It's he got it in Houston, got it in proper cowboy, like Texan oil country. He looks like straight off of Dynasty.
Oh, absolutely.
So how's it going down with the American public? To try and get a take on that, Ashley Westwood, who currently plays for Charlotte FC, is the skipper there, will be joining us for a chat and see what the World Cup experience is like for an expat who's playing over in the MLS at the moment. Angelina Kelly is out about for some England fans in Atlanta. She's made the move already. Of course, that's where England play tomorrow evening at 5 o'clock. And we will bring you that game live. We've got loads of football for you this evening. First, 6 o'clock, Ivory, Norway. Then it's France, Sweden at 10 o'clock. And then Mexico, Ecuador at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on Talksport. We'll have our creature of the night and chat to Ashley Westwood. Ashley
quite a hard
Westwood
thing to say.
In a few moments' time.
Yeah.
Has been terrified all week about the Ghanaian witch doctor he slagged off.
No, he did not.
Supposedly putting a curse on Harry Kane and England's number 9, subsequently missing a sitter. Now, thankfully, the witch doctor, of course, lifted the curse.
It's funny.
Right. Now, there was a report in The Sun that you, Emmanuel, were cursed by a witch doctor.
It's Senegal.
Ignored it
2002.
and got injured.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, before the World Cup in 2002. No, after the World Cup, actually, because we went out very quickly, during the World Cup in Asia. And when I came back, I was in holidays in south of France, and I had a friend, he was selling watches, on the beach, and he was expecting me. He was waiting for me for days. And then when he saw me, he came to me straight away and he said, I'm so happy to see you because I have something important to tell you. And I said, what is it? And he said, you have to be very careful because you have, how can I say that?
Curse?
A curse, yeah, on you. And you have to follow exactly what I'm going to tell you. And I said, what is it? He said, you have to go in Africa and you have to buy a cow and you have to kill it. And you have to follow.
Bit detailed and extreme, that one.
Yeah, but I said, listen, I understand and I really appreciate that. But this is your traditions and I'm not into it. So I won't do it. And 6 months later, I had to stop. But is it coincidental link? I won't say that,
Oh, so what happened to you? You got injured?
Yeah. And
they
cut my leg in 2 parts, so I had to stop playing football.
Did you get injured kicking a cow?
No.
Hold on. What part you...
To win the World Cup gives you the ultimate bragging right. To win it as a player and a manager, that's like completing football. And only 3 have ever done it. Mario Zagallo with Brazil, Franz Beckenbauer with West Germany, Didier Deschamps with France. Statistically, though, who's the best? Let's start with this guy, Mario Zagallo. He won the World Cup as a player in 1958 and 62, winning 10 of his 12 games across 2 tournaments, and the other 2 were draws. As a manager, he won 9 of 13 across 2 tournaments, including all 6 played by his iconic Brazil side in 1970, a win rate of 76%. Franz Beckenbauer had a slightly better managerial record, winning 10 of 14, but his playing record was a tiny bit worse, winning 14 out of 18. That gives him 24 wins in 32 in total, a 75% win rate. And finally, Deschamps, who won the only World Cup he played at in 1998. Until 2026, he'd coached France at 3 World Cups, winning 14 of 19 games. Look at that. A combined 20 wins in 25 games. Crazy. An overall win rate of 80%. So, based on the stats, it goes Deschamps, Zagallo, and then Beckenbauer. But let's be real, there's no losers here.
Waiter, champagne. Let's head back to Wimbledon because Great Britain have someone in the next round, Lisa O'Sullivan.
Yes, a fantastic win for Katie Swan, 6-4, 6-4 over Romania's Irina Camelia-Begu, and not just because she's the first British player to make it into round 2 at this year's Wimbledon, but this is a story of resilience and determination. So much injury in her career, most recently a painful neck disc problem that kept her out for 8 months. It makes the rehab worthwhile. Katie Swan is into round 2.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Lisa. That's gone. I'm a bit worried about the painful nick that she got.
I thought she got herself
too young to shave. Anyway,
yes, go on.
So a little bit of insight now into how the tournament is going down, maybe amongst US football fans and maybe, the wider US public. Ashley Westwood, we know from Burnley and Villa, amongst others, has been playing out in Charlotte for about 3 years now, North Carolina, and is the skipper of Charlotte FC. And joins us now. Hi, Ashley.
Good morning, lads. Good morning.
Yeah, morning. Good. Appreciate you joining us. Good to talk to you. What sort of vibe are you getting from, obviously the Charlotte fans that they're into their soccer. Let's call it that for now. But what about the sort of wider people that you mix with there?
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to lie, I was a bit worried at the start of the tournament. It was a bit slow, but once the USA game kicked off, it's just taken huge momentum. And I mean, they've looked really well, so that always helps. But no, there's a buzz everywhere. We have all the watch parties. Unfortunately, we're still 4 hours away from Atlanta, so we don't get the full feel of it. But it's everywhere on the TV screens, and like you would expect. And I think they've done an outstanding job. It's really given the rest of the world what soccer can be here.
Yeah, Mauricio Pochettino, they're sort of offering him an extension. I was chatting to someone who sort of knows him a bit and said he's really enjoying his time there, despite what everybody's been said. And we know he got a bit frustrated with the press, but it looks like there's a pretty good chance he could stay on.
Yeah, and I think it's great for the USA. It's great for the whole soccer to have just a manager of that caliber and that name who's worked at the top. He's done everything in the game. And again, but the USA team, it's a real strong team. My only worry for them is the depth, which could hurt you going down to the latter stages. But again, one of my good mates is there. Tim Ream is the captain. He plays with us, and listen, they know the game. It's starting to change, and it's taking real momentum.
Yeah, he had an historical moment, didn't he, earlier in the overturned yellow cards with Miggy Almiron, didn't he? It's like he's got a little footnote in World Cup history now.
I think it's his hair that got away with him.
So, yeah, well, it's good to hear. I mean, in the 3 years you've been there, have you noticed interest kind of increase?
It's huge. I mean, our fan base, we get 25 to 30,000 most weeks, and whenever you come to our games, it's a real festival. They go to have a good time. They understand football, and again with this World Cup, it's going to do everything that we wanted to do for soccer. And I think not only that, I think the MLS is making changes, so we're going to attract some real top players. And obviously, with the calendar change, it aligns with contracts back in Europe. So it's an exciting time for football in America.
Yeah, and the longer the US stay in, the better it will be. The other thing, though, is people are very unhappy about the hydration breaks. We're not getting adverts for them over here, but I gather you are in America. So I wonder if that will become a permanent thing over there.
I would hope not. Listen, but we play in extreme temperatures. We do have water breaks similar to what you have in England, but it's not to the extent of what it is in the World Cup. But again, I think the reason everyone's having it, you see the stadiums that are indoor, they're making it a fair competition because you don't want anyone moaning about who's having what. So it is what it is. It can certainly change the swing of games. I've been involved with games, and it does change the swing of things. So sometimes you have to use it in your favour.
Scotland were based there, of course, in Charlotte. Ashley, did you have any old teammates that were in the Scotland camp? Did you get to meet up with anybody?
No, I had the masseur was at Villa. I knew the analysis. Obviously, I know Guinea. I met up with them. They let me have a look at training. So it was. I I arranged a day on the lake for them. They had a boat on the lake, so on their downtime, I've arranged golf for them. So
nice.
I was more of the player liaison, but it was great to see him, and they welcomed us into training. The little boy, they signed some jerseys for the little boy. So no, they were outstanding, and the feedback we got from them was they absolutely loved it.
Yeah, that's good. It's a great. I mean, I went there a few years back on holiday. I was telling Shaban, who I think you might have seen over there. It's a great spot, isn't it? It's a nice part of the world.
I felt lucky. I didn't know where Charlotte was, but I come here to do the medical for 3 days and fell in love with the place. The family are here now. It's a real good city. It's not too big. It's green. It's so clean. The people are friendly. They call it the Southern hospitality. So now we're 2 hours from the beach, 2 hours from the mountains, an hour flight from New York, an hour flight from Miami. So it's the perfect place. And
you got Dean Smith working with you, the old Villa manager. So is that something you're, as you know, you're 36 now, you may be sort of thinking about the future. Is sort of coaching something you'd like to do, Ashley?
Yeah, I mean the gaffer's been class since he's come in. We get along really well. Obviously with the connections back in England, he loves his golf as I do, so we play a few rounds together. But like you said, I'm getting towards the latter stages now, so it's definitely something I want to do. I don't know what yet. Hopefully the club has a role for me. I'm embedded in the community, so I've still got a long way to go yet. I want to win a trophy for this football club, but I'm certainly excited for the future. Yeah. So how I mean, what are is the team getting stronger? Have you got a chance of sort of getting silverware for the team there? We're a good team. Obviously, with all the limitations that the MLS brings, it's squad depth. Like you have kids coming out of college, so it's interesting the way we do it. We've lost Wilfried Zaha, which is a huge loss. Hopefully, we can replace him. But that's. If we do that, it's going to be hard to do that. But we're in a good spot at the minute. We're in the middle of the playoffs, so we need a good run now going into the back end of the season.
Have you come up against Lionel Messi?
We have many a times. Last year he actually didn't score against us, so we did a good job. But the guy he's phenomenal. He's easily the best player I've played against. The way he manipulates the ball, the way he sees things is. Even at his age now, and that's what I've enjoyed the most. He plays in the MLS, but he's still doing it on the world stage. So it just goes to show the MLS isn't as bad as what everyone says. I think the MLS has been good for him by the look of it, actually, because he seems sharper and fitter. He's certainly moving more. He just sort of wandered about a bit in Qatar, but
he's not moving a lot.
Well, he's moving I think by his standards, he's box to box.
He doesn't take his dog with him like he used to.
He did. He looked like he was just going to buy the paper in Qatar, but then he'd come to life and do something amazing. But I don't know. He just seems to have got a kind of new lease of life. Maybe a lot of that is, playing in Miami.
I think it is the lifestyle. I mean, I've seen it. I was close to retiring. A bad injury at Burnley, close to retiring, and then I've come here and it's given me an extra 4 years. And I do think the lifestyle helps. The weather, it certainly. Family are happy. You're outdoor doing things, and the lifestyle's incredible, and the football's catching up as well. Brilliant. Well, look, good to talk to you, Ashley. Very interesting. All the best. Enjoy the rest of the tournament and the rest of the season. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for having me. Thank you, lads. Take care. Great. Ashley Westwood there, formerly, of course, Villa and Burnley crew for many years. Now at Charlotte FC, and it sounds like he's loving life. And it sounds like the game's sort of in pretty fine fettle.
I think what's very, very clear about this World Cup is the difference between the America you see on social media with Trump and all the things that drive you so mad, and the actual people of America, who are lovely and have welcomed the world to their country. Yeah. There's such a difference, isn't there, between the two? Because prior to the tournament, you're thinking, this isn't going to be a fun place to go and visit. Well, if you only follow it through sort of, certain outlets and social media, it can give you a bit of a skewed view of the world, can't it? That can be the problem. Anyway, we move on. Creatures of the Night, where we asked a Talksport listener to stay up to the wee small hours every day, certainly when there's games overnight, and that's been practically every one but one, to watch a game at an ungodly hour. And next up is Paul Kramer, the Spurs fan, who stayed up to watch the Dutch in action against Morocco.
It's 2 o'clock in leafy North London. Morocco are taking on the Netherlands. The teams are lining up right now, whilst I'm lining up the drinks, my special flag, my stork, my Casablanca. There's been 2 attempts on goal from the Moroccans. We're now at our first commercial break, hydration break. The half-time whistle has gone. These 2 teams are so equally matched. 10 minutes into the second half, Mickey van der Ven has just made one of his trademark tackles. Last-ditch defending. Fantastic.
Somerville's onto it, up to the edge of the area. Defender in his back, but Gakpo drives it home, and the Dutch lead.
Gakpo has scored the most emotional goal seen so far at this year's World Cup. There are going to be 6 minutes of injury time, and oh my God, Morocco have equalised.
Whips in a right-footed ball. The header's in. It's a Diop. Equaliser.
The cross has come in from the left, and Fulham's Diop, Doopy Diop, has scored. The game finished 1-1, and so we're into extra time. Gakpo has had to go off with cramp. The Netherlands have used their last sub, who is Kluivert, and which means that Rudolph, the Red Reindeers, and Ruth won't get on, probably being saved for Christmas. The Netherlands have won the toss, and the penalties will be taken at the end with their supporters behind it. They are taking the first penalty, brilliantly taken by Coop Miners. That's 1-0. Morocco have hit the bar with their first penalty, so it's advantage the Netherlands.
Justin Kluivert, who scored that hat-trick of penalties for Bournemouth against Wolves. What's he like in a World Cup situation? Hits the post!
Verbruggen makes the save from the second, so that's now 1 each, having taken 2 penalties each.
Quinton Timber, the older brother of his twin Jurien Timber, he takes the 4th penalty. Stands still, now addresses the ball, and blasts it wide, a foot wide.
Timber's taken one of the most worst penalties you'll ever see. And now Hakimi has stepped up and has also hit the post. So we've had 4 penalties each, and the score is 2-2. Somerville steps up to take the 5th, but he's not that great at penalties. He has had his spot kick saved.
Saibari up against Verbruggen, right-footed, finds the bottom corner, and Morocco move through to the round of 16.
He shoots, he scores. Morocco are going through to the next round. Hard luck on the Netherlands. Thank you for joining the Marrakesh Express. All change. We're now on our way to Houston. Woo, woo.
Thank you, Paul. Brilliant. And the voice changes so much over the period. I thought we're 2 people doing it.
Yes, it was. Yeah. He takes it out on the wrong timber just because he's a Tottenham fan as well. Blimey. There we are. Thank you, Paul. There'll be another creature.
Some great reactions.
Tomorrow.
Oh, my God, Morocco have scored.
Yes.
Brilliant.
You were talking earlier on about listening, watching the football, talking to people on the phone while the game's on and the things that can go wrong. We, Blackburn Rovers, were at the Goldstone in 1991. Roy Wegley had just scored Rovers' 3rd goal. Just as Brighton were about to restart the game, a bloke called Transistor John had his radio to his ear informing us that the goal had been disallowed. It says so on Radio Brighton, he said. Don't always believe what, yes, of course, it goes out of whack.
He was in the ground.
Yes. Pete in Edinburgh says, according to Angie's logic of winning a trophy in his 2nd season, Scotland then would win the Euros in 2028. That's the reason to give him the job, Pete. Yeah, they haven't thought that through, have they? It's a guaranteed trophy. Anyway, thanks for those. We're going to be going over to New York for Jim and Simon at 1 o'clock. Before that, though, Angelina Kelly is out and about with the England fans, and we'll be hearing from them in a few moments' time. We're here with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's deals at selcobw.com.
bizarre situation, what's going on with German football at the moment. Why do you think it's been total freefall ever since you guys won the World Cup in 2014?
I think there's been a certain amount of arrogance in the German camp and the FA. I think we've been living in the past since 2014, really. Nothing's really changed. I think the football is the same, very possession based. We haven't really got any mavericks that can turn games around. We saw that last night. Leonard obviously is a big miss from the World Cup before he got injured. I think he could have made a difference last night. But in terms of that, I think it's been really, really slow football. Boring at times, and when it gets physical and when we play against teams that are a little bit more athletic, I think we struggle. We've seen it in the group stage too. When you watch the Ivory Coast game, I think we got lucky there. We should have probably lost that as well. So, and Ecuador was a real eye-opener. And what we failed to do after the Ecuador game was to be honest, in the press and in the team, it was kind of brushed aside as in, well, we were safe anyway kind of thing. So we took the foot off the gas, and that showed last night.
Good morning, Robert. It's Manu.
Looking good, mate.
Yeah, you too. Well, who is responsible for this mess? The manager, the players, all together?
I think it's been a combination of all what you just said. I think when you look at the game last night, could the players have done any better? I think, yeah, they could have done. I think they played with themselves. Once they went 1-0 down, they sort of stepped up a little bit. But I think, we just...
Get ready to get that winning feeling with TalkSport Win. This summer, TalkSport is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of TalkSport Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Yes, tomorrow night, Thomas Tuchel's England face DR Congo, and if you're in the Midlands, there's no better place to watch it than the TalkSport fan zone. The atmosphere was electric on Saturday night at the SI Warehouse at Villa Park, and it was will be ready to go again with special guest who we'll be chatting to on the show tomorrow, England and Villa legend Emile Heskey. Early bird tickets are now on sale at talksport.com/fan zone, so don't miss out and get yours now. That's TalkSport Fan Zone. TalkSport Fan Zone.
Well, it could be a van zone, let's be honest.
Yeah, we'll have a chat with Big Emile tomorrow. Now, Angelina Kelly has been out and about in Atlanta building up to this game for England DR Congo, live on TalkSport. She caught up with an England fan after Germany. Oh, I wonder what he thought. After Germany were knocked out of the World Cup last night.
Here in Atlanta, reacting to Germany crashing out of the World Cup against Paraguay on penalty shootouts with an England fan. A couple of England fans celebrating.
Auf Wiedersehen. What do you want to know?
What was your immediate reaction watching that game? I'm going to guess you might have enjoyed it.
It was really funny, and it had a good amount of jeopardy. We were obviously singing relentlessly at the German fans, and then Paraguay missed 2 chances to win in a row, and we thought we were going to get chased out the bar, but Auf Wiedersehen, they've won enough. See you later. And big up Paraguay, not a big nation. Perfect.
Their goalkeeper was brilliant, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was lovely. Don't know who he is, but he's great.
And Julian Nagelsmann, a manager who's been linked to a lot of Premier League clubs. Judging off that, do you think that we might see him in the Premier League and it'll be goodbye to his post with Germany?
I don't want to be too kind to the Germans and the Germany manager, but I'm not sure how much you can draw from a singular penalty shootout.
Yeah. Probably won't be our Paraguay correspondent.
No.
Great goalkeeper. Don't know who he is.
Drink may have been taken.
Don't know who he is.
I'd say karma to that guy, though.
You've got to be careful, haven't you? Yeah, we've got to watch.
Gloating away there. I'd wait till after tomorrow's game.
Let's have a chat with Angelina now. Hi, Angelina.
Hello.
Yeah, we don't want to do too much gloating. England haven't played yet, have they?
No, I mean, you try telling those fans, though. They were, drink was consumed, I'm going to guess, but yeah, they were very much enjoying the moment, shall we say.
Yeah. So you're there already. Are there a lot of England fans already in Atlanta? Because there's been a lot of talk that there's a lot of tickets potentially still available, but they're not cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, the city of Atlanta has been pretty much empty. We've barely seen any England fans. A lot did arrive apparently overnight. We're expecting more to arrive today. But there isn't a lot of World Cup fever in the city, to be completely honest. There are a lot of signs and posters. There's an interactive screen on lampposts that has a recorded message from Andre Dickens, the Atlanta mayor, welcoming you to the city. I'll be honest, it makes me jump because it's so high up the lamppost, you can't actually see the screen. You just hear this voice. So every time it gets me. But the fan park, which is in the Olympic Park created in 1996, is actually closed until Wednesday. So fans are quite disappointed. We've had numerous people coming up to us asking where is the hub for the fans, where should they be going, and I think not having the fan park open is a little bit of a shame. So yeah, quite quiet for now, but we're expecting it to get a little bit livelier today.
I was going to say the cheapest ticket I thought I saw currently was about £600. That's if you're not a member of the England sort of travel club and you get those kind of discounted ones.
£600 for a low block bore.
£600. I mean, that's the cheaper end.
Yeah, I mean, speaking to fans, when you ask about, the travel, the tickets, etc., you're talking in the thousands for the majority. And I think one thing that people aren't considering is the travel, because this is the first stadium in Atlanta that England have played in the city that FIFA have stated. Dallas was in Arlington, Boston was in Foxborough, New York was actually in East Rutherford, New Jersey, not even the same state. And, you think about fans that were travelling from New York to New Jersey. We heard about those train tickets being raised from about $13 to $100. People were paying for travel by buses, by taxis. The drivers didn't know where to drop them off. They were queuing outside in the rain, which, we're used to rain, but I must say these open-air stadiums have really, really affected the fan experience. So it is going to be costly for people to come to Atlanta, but at least they'll be in an air-conditioned stadium that does have a roof, so no more ponchos for the fans at least.
And the good news is the food and drink when you're in there is cheaper. Good old Arthur Blank, the stadium owner. Slices of pizza, bottles of water and fries, £2.27. Hot dogs, £1.52. Cokes with unlimited refills, £1.52. So that's not so bad, and the travel's going to be cheaper. So they look like they're looking after the fans a little bit more in the stadiums.
Unlike your previous experience, Angelina, that you put on Instagram yesterday, $30 worth. Was it Boston? Where were you? In what state? It was terrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that was every England game that we've gone to, we've tried the food. It's been around $25 to $30, including tips. So we spent $30 on a cup of cheese, which was, I can't even explain to you. It was so grotesque.
That's exactly what it was.
But the taste of it tasted like plastic, I'll be honest. And then you've also got a pretzel braid, which was not too bad. And then it was $15 for a burger. $15 for a burger. I also had spent $15, $15 on a chicken burger in Boston. I think we spent $10 on these garlic parmesan fries. I'll be honest, I don't think I'm too much of a fussy eater, but so far the price and the flavour, it's not comparing at all. So I'm looking forward to Atlanta. I might get a good meal.
I think Grim Burgers could be a good name for a business. Or maybe not, anyway. Thanks, Angelina. We'll catch up with you later in the tournament.
Thank you.
It's Angelina Kelly there over in Atlanta. James Hasty says, my dad watched the entire Boar Fest that was South Africa versus Canada. He missed the only goal. As he was reading a text I'd sent to him saying how boring the game was.
That's true.
And so we'll leave it there. Jim and Simon are up next, live from New York to build up to all tonight's games. All live on Talksport, don't forget.
What floor are they on?
Not sure. And we'll catch up with you tomorrow, myself and Charlie. Graham Lasso, Emil Heskey amongst our guests, building up to England, DR Congo. Have a good day.
Tuchel wants a different profile. What
do you think?
Something.
What do you think?
It doesn't matter what I think.
No, it does, Jim.
No, it doesn't matter.